Hello everyone, how are you today? Nice to see you. Welcome to the Purge. I am your host, Kane B. I will be walking through this chicanery world with you. Chicanery? Maybe Steve G was right about everything. Who knows? We got a great show for you today. Twiz is watching. And Tony's here. How do you know? Right there. And this is the first series of the Bill Thompson Dolly Parton combination. You can see he's also Johnny Carson there, if you're familiar with Johnny Carson. I'm going to put the filter back on so you don't have to listen to the airport behind me. Hope everybody's doing well. It's nice to see you. I got a confession to make, actually, and I'll get to that in just a second. You know, if you have one good friend in life, you're doing pretty well. So that's my message for you folks today. And I don't know. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to give it all to you, right? So this is going to be, it's going to be a skosh, just a skosh longer than normal. Okay? So just deal with it. But we have a fantastic little doc that I threw in there as a bonus for you guys today. So don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. Trying to shut it down by 8 o'clock. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we have the lovely Jenn joining us. We have Jage, of course. And then we'll have also Sleuthy Sweetheart Stormy to join us. And she feels like she doesn't have any supreme Idaho4 knowledge, but I think she likes to. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing now. So we'll see how things go. Also, Mike will be joining us from the last 24. And let's get right into it.
Customers in here making their own food, man. Everybody in here trying to help her out. This shit crazy. Manager over here sleep standing up and shit. Me at McDonald's on Lindell, man. Check in. Look at my boy on the fries, cuz. Look at she over here drooling. Come on, baby girl. You the manager, man. You supposed to do better than this. This shit crazy. Everybody just getting their free meals in, man. Teamwork make the dream work. She don't work here neither. I know that's right. That shit crazy.
Well, and when we're talking about how much evidence is out there, as far as evidence that's actually relevant to the charges that would have been brought out at trial, that's probably much smaller than the totality of all the information that was gathered by the investigators, because we have literally gigabytes of data, security videos from around town, from the University of Idaho, for example, that in the end didn't have anything of relevance, but they were didn't have relevance, but thing of relevance.
Jury trials routinely occur as a way of deciding whether somebody is guilty or innocent of the offense of which he or she is suspected or accused.
Any student in a civics class in elementary school or junior high school will learn about a system with a trial by jury and a right to counsel and proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and it won't remotely resemble the system that we have.
There is no greater disparity than in a death penalty case, when the choice is between a guilty plea with an immediate release and a possible execution. In February 1999, an unprecedented fourth capital murder trial was about to begin in Bastrop, Texas. It had a 20-year-old history. 3 trials had already taken place. Prosecutors and defense attorneys had come and gone. A death sentence had been imposed, reversed, reimposed, and then reversed again. This was to be the end of the road, the very last trial of Kerry Max Cook. Paul Nugent has been his defense attorney since 1991.
We're actually in the courtroom for a pretrial hearing. The district attorney's first assistant comes to me and pulls me aside and kind of stuns me, says, well, will Kerry consider a plea bargain? It was shocking and surprising because for 20 years, all you had heard from the district attorney's office was this vicious rhetoric that Kerry was this heinous criminal who deserved to be executed for the rape and mutilation of this young woman. And all of a sudden they're offering him freedom. All he has to say is one word and he gets to go home. Guilty.
Kerry Max Cook was arrested in August 1977 when he was 21 years old. Charged with the brutal murder and rape of 21-year-old Linda Jo Edwards in Tyler, Texas. He was tried 1 year later.
Kerry was a young kid. He was a high school dropout, and his biggest sin in East Texas in the 1970s was he was allegedly homosexual. It's a very religious community there. It's a part of the American Bible Belt. That was a major strike against Kerry.
I can't tell you what that was like, sitting at that defense table, having the prosecution raise his voice like in that Southern Baptist way with the fire and the brimstone and pointing almost inches from my nose. And screaming, it's time to put all the freaks and the murderous homosexuals on the scrap heap of humanity where they belong. I mean, just screaming. I'm sitting there like his breath is blowing my hair back out of my face.
Convicted and sentenced to death, he spent years on death row, where he was abused and he tried to commit suicide and was saved. He then tried again by mutilating himself. He left a note, "I really was an innocent man." The prosecution did not see it as a desperate act, but as a confirmation of a disturbed killer. He had spent 13 brutal years on death row when his sentence was reversed based on a technicality. That's when Paul Nugent became his lawyer.
The issue is, has the state proven their capital murder case by proof beyond...
The new trial with a new district attorney took place in 1992 and resulted in a hung jury. The state then retried the case once more.
Edwards and Ray Edwards and Jimmy Edwards to find this defendant guilty of capital murder because that is the crime he committed on June the 10th, 1977.
The death penalty was reinstated. Then, once again in 1996, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals reversed the conviction. It also published a scathing critique of the conduct of both the police and the prosecution going back to the first trial in 1978. They wrote that the investigation was intentionally misleading. The key witness, Robert Hahn's testimony, was prejudicial, and the first conviction was obtained through fraud and in violation of the law.
The highest criminal court in the state of Texas found substantial and egregious and systematic prosecutorial misconduct in Kerry's case. We're not talking about an isolated act. We're not talking about one instance of police or prosecutorial misconduct. We're talking about systematic misconduct.
Even the then new first assistant DA, the man who fiercely prosecuted Cook in the last two trials, David Dobbs, agrees.
Let me make it real clear to you. This prosecution of Kerry Max Cook was mishandled from the start. There were problems, and there's no question that there were things that were done that were unfair to him. Now, I've never indicated anything other than that.
And yet that didn't deter Dobbs from going on fighting to put Cook to death.
I'm completely 100% convinced that Kerry Max Cook is guilty.
He wanted to use the final chance of a fourth trial to convict Cook. But this time, he had to do it without the testimony of his key witness.
So you might see some similarities here already where they really didn't have any evidence, and he was more guilty in they call it the Bible Belt, the heartland. They don't call it the Bible Belt over there. I have a confession to make. I'm going to try something. I've got a little bit of, it might be something called Jack. And I got, today's show brought to you by Kickstart. Orange flavor. I haven't tried it before. It's not very good. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of that in there, in the red cup, and see how we go. Hopefully I don't, oh, ooh. Yeah. He's more guilty of being a homosexual than he is of being on the spectrum, but it's the same sort of thing, and you'll see all along how the prosecution, no matter what comes up, they can't take the blinders off on this guy, and they're just going full force. Wait till you hear the end.
He was worried.
The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, which is the highest court in Texas, had ruled that we could not use the testimony of the man that was with Mr. Cook just prior to the commission of the offense, based on prosecutorial misconduct that had taken place in the 70s. We, without that testimony, we could not place Mr. Cook at the crime scene the night that the actual capital murder took place.
The irony was that the testimony of the witness, Robert Hahn, who had died in the meantime, was the example cited by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals as prejudicial and contradictory. So what the prosecutor was saying was that if he couldn't use the prior testimony, he couldn't win the case.
If we could have read in his testimony, even though, as you have pointed out, there are some, there are some problems with it, like any other testimony, there's some good with the bad. If we could have read in the testimony and proved his proximity to the crime scene, we would have gone ahead and tried the case.
He weighed his options. He could go to trial with what he felt was a weak case. He could try to get Cook to take a guilty plea, or he could dismiss the case.
We were not about to dismiss the case because he's guilty.
The prosecutor offered,
Bingo.
if Kerry would plead guilty.
See right there, they're just like, we're not about to ever let this go. It's all about getting a beat. Point blank period. They don't care whether or not you're innocent or guilty, and they will go to all lengths to get the win.
He'd get out, his case would be over with. He'd have to plead guilty to time served. I went and talked to Kerry, and Kerry looked me in the eye and said, I want to go home, I want to be free, I want this behind me, but I will go back to death row. I will let them strap me to the gurney and put the poison in my veins before I lie, before I plead guilty.
It's all I had left. I was innocent. After what they had done to me, and they'd convinced the people of America that I was this raping, homosexual, maniacal murderer. All I had left was my integrity, my honesty, and the truth. And the truth was that I did not rape and kill Linda Jo Edwards, and no one was going to say that I did. No one was going to make me carry that burden.
What happens when the defendant refuses to plead guilty and the prosecutor is afraid to lose the trial but will not dismiss the case? There was one more possible option. The Supreme Court decided in 1970 that it does not violate the Constitution for a defendant to make a deal and plead guilty while still maintaining his innocence. Such a plea is called an Alford plea, or a no-contest plea.
It's perfectly constitutional to accept a plea of guilty but not guilty. That is, the defendant can say, I didn't do it, but I want to take the deal, and the judge can say, okay, which means that it's not necessary for an innocent person to lie to take the deal. He can say he's innocent and still take the deal.
The Supreme Court says you can plead no contest. You can, but most prosecutors will not let a defendant enter a plea of nolo contendere or no contest, the way Spiro Agnew did. Defendants are pretty much required to either go to trial or admit their guilt.
This prosecutor felt he had little choice. He offered Kerry Max Cook the no-contest plea, which means that Cook can maintain his innocence while knowing that the court has convicted him. It's the only time it has ever happened in a death penalty case in Texas.
It's the hardest decision we've ever had to make. But, unfortunately, We were faced with the choice of doing something that would ensure that he was convicted of murder, or running a very, in my opinion, substantial risk that without the testimony of Bob Hahn, he would walk the streets free from this.
They couldn't admit they had made a mistake. They couldn't admit that perhaps the state of Texas almost executed an innocent man. So it was cover for them. It was political cover, is what the plea bargain was.
Cook now had to make his life or death decision.
My lawyer told me it was my decision. Hall Nugent said we could win it. Kerry, I think you'll be acquitted this time.
I'm innocent.
I'd heard that before. The truth had rung in my ears for so long I couldn't hear it anymore. I'd given him 22 years. I just didn't want to give him any more. Too much.
So you took it?
Took it. No, I regret it every day.
Then, almost out of the blue, 2 months after Kerry Max Cook took the no contest plea, and 22 years after the murder, the result of a DNA analysis of a semen stain found on the victim's panties came out. It did not match Cook's. The prosecution says that these findings were not exculpatory, and that Kerry Max Cook was and remains guilty.
It's just a nightmare for me.
New details unfolding in the Idaho murder case. A forensic team that looked at Brian Kohberger's phone says that the killer searched in a, quote, panic on his phone after police identified the make and model of his car. Those searches included phrases like wiretap and psychopath's paranoid. The data showing he was even shopping for a new car. Fox News contributor and criminal defense attorney Joshua Ritter joins me now. Joshua, sounds to me like someone who thought he could outsmart the police, but absolutely panicked when he realized he didn't. Your thoughts?
I think you're absolutely right. We got to think about the tremendous steps.
They never clarify exactly who this guy is on Fox News. I am guessing, once again, he's straight out of Central Casting. They try to verify him by saying that he knows more about criminals than anybody out there. So I hope you're enjoying it.
That he took to evade capture. I mean, remember, this is a person where they found no DNA in his vehicle linking him to the crime. They had found no DNA in his apartment linking him to the crime. And the only piece of DNA, now it was a hugely crucial piece of DNA, was that touch transfer DNA found on the knife sheath. So he really went above and beyond to try to cover his tracks. And now he's monitoring the case closely. And when he realizes that the walls may be closing in on him and they have a suspect vehicle, he goes into panic mode. So I think it does give us some insights into what he was thinking and the paranoia he was still operating under in those days following the murders.
Here's more from the team that analyzed his phone. Listen.
So literally the pressure of, oh, look, they're really talking about my car caused within 15 minutes of behavior, him trying to clean it and get rid of it, which again, like just not normal. You know, if you weren't the bad guy, you wouldn't care, but he was scrambling and he thought the police were on him, and they were at that point.
Joshua, you have worked in this field for years. You understand the mind of a criminal better than anyone else. I want to ask my first question and take it a step further now. Do you think that he thought that because of that criminology degree that he was in the process of getting, that he could outsmart everyone and get away with it? Sort of the overconfidence of somebody who's so narcissistic and sort of delusional.
I do think that somehow he had some obsession with the idea that he knew better. He was an expert on this, and he felt like he could get away with it. It's interesting. We think about how he started to search for how to, repair his vehicle, perhaps sell it within moments of realizing that the suspect vehicle had been identified. And it makes me think about that information that we knew he was searching for a knife and sheath within days of the murders to replace those items that he had left behind or either disposed of. You could tell that he put a lot of planning into this and tried to cover it up. But as things start to fall apart, he goes into this paranoia, this panic mode, trying to cover his tracks.
Yeah, this is not Gone Girl like in the movies where, you know, she completely covered her tracks perfectly.
Those fools, do they want to see what we're made of? The United States of America, red, white, and blue, will rip your throat out, drink your blood, motherfucker. From the sky will hit the target, time to simplify. Whoa, time to simplify. Oh yeah. From the land, the air, on the sea, bloodthirsty troops will show no fucking mercy. Boots will stomp upon your legacy. They will send your soul straight to the deity. Come on, drop the bomb. Oh yeah. Oh come on, drop the bomb. Oh yeah. Come on. Oh come on. Drop the bomb. Oh yeah. Drop the Sometimes the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants and patriots. Today we did what we had to do. They counted on America to be passive. They were oh so fucking wrong. Because bombs are falling from the sky will hit the target, time to simplify. Whoa, time to simplify. Oh yeah. claim. Rolling through genres, let me play this game. Rap like a madman, Eminem with the slang, spitting bars so sharp like a rap hangman. From YouTube fame to Idaho's wild ride, you're breaking it down, putting truths aside. Kane B got the purge, no doubt, he's the king, breaking down the case like a YouTube machine. Kane B the purge, bringing heat in the booth. Facts on the table, there's no room for proof. Throwing down lyrics while the world's watching. Is it guilty or free? That's the question we're knocking. Kane B the purge, taking Idaho by storm. He's got the heat and the truth breaking the norm. We're all glued to this case, no one's letting go. Will Brian be guilty or will he be let go? Kane B's in the game, watch him lay it all bare. Will justice find the truth or just disappear in the air? Here's my bubblegum pop, you ready or not? Kane B's in the mix with the case so hot. Rap, rock, pop, he's switching it up. Dancing through the genres like a YouTube cup. Got Kane B, the purge, putting the story in flow. Breaking it down with humor, watch the case blow. Boom, Kane B's riding with electric groove. Breaking it down, yeah, he's on the move. He's got the purge, so come and watch him reign. Sipping on knowledge like it's truth on a train. Kane B the purge, taking Idaho by storm. He's got the heat and the truth breaking the norm. We're all glued to this case, no one's letting go. Will Brian be guilty or will he be let go? Kane B's in the game, watch him lay it all bare. Will justice find the truth or just disappear in the air? Now here I am, R&B vibes on deck. Let's get a little smooth, but don't forget, I'm bringing humor, I'm bringing the sound. But this case got us all spinning round. KB with the truth, it's hard to ignore. Like waiting for that next chapter in the lore. It's hard to ignore, like waiting for that next chapter in the lore.
Damn right, the pandas are back, full force, just like Luigi. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Nice to see everybody here. Dan the Man. We got formerly Jimmy Bobby and Twilight Zones. Just that woman they live. Nice to see you. Victorini, the OG, Lucy, Twiz, Rowie, and Operation GCG. All right, we're going to get all these guys up here in a minute. I have just a couple things. Let me turn the air on. Maybe it's boiling. You know, it's been raining all day here, though. It was pretty cool. I had the AC off. It was nice hanging out, doing things, and I want to put the image up here real quick if you guys will bear with me just a second here, because for some reason the YouTube gods did not do it any justice there. And let me see, it's one of my favorite ones. The next one will be the Johnny Carson one. This is not it. Okay. It's here, I promise. August? Yeah, I had to ask myself what this month. It's almost September. And you guys are already getting cold fronts. We don't really know what those are here. But you can see he's rocking the Twiz thing over here on the Latah County. And that's, yeah, Dolly Thompson, Bill Parton, whatever you want to call him. See, it's much clearer when you look at it here. I don't know why they compress it so much, but that's going to be our background today, I guess. Okay, so let's see if I can find it here. What was it, Monday? It feels like Mondays feel like Fridays to me. I don't know what it is exactly. It's funny in my feed here. The attacks on Koberger are just relentless. I played that little Fox News clip, obviously, and that's their latest, greatest cell phone experts on. Okay, I don't know how those people were involved. I've seen like 6 different channels use their stuff, and they never vet who the hell they are, or what they had to do with the case, but they think it's laughable that his activities on his phone were so panicky. Yeah, sure, okay. Let's see if I can click away here. And it is time for, hold on, wait for it. Mewz. Time for Mewz. Mewz. All right, here we go. I don't know what happened here, but this is one of those best case scenarios, I guess. 2 men allegedly impersonating police officers and attempted to gain access to a Texas home. You see the Texas theme with Stormy being here today. They were fatally unalived, and people returned fire. The suspects were wearing bulletproof vests, ski masks, and badges around their neck at the time of the incident. Sounds like the next door neighbor at 1122 stole the ATF app from his dad. 2 men were allegedly impersonating police officers and attempted to gain access to a Texas home before they were taken out. At around 11 p.m. local time, they received a call. The caller explained that 2 masked men had been in their house, stating they were police and here to serve a warrant. As suspicions began to arise about the authenticity of the men, the suspects pew-pewed the resident through the door of the house. Both men were then struck when the homeowner returned fire, the report said. Right now, we don't have any ages. They look to be younger, maybe in their 30s. Khan said the homeowners were not injured in the incident and suspects were unsuccessful in forcing entry into the property. A child was in the house unharmed, but it's just 2 people and they're masked up. No police cars, no lights or anything like that, she continued. So they immediately became suspicious. Ongoing investigation. I think that's case closed right there. So yeah, they have to skew it in their way. And I found this one to be the most fun of all the headlines. Idaho prison says inmates aren't harassing Brian Koberger. They're just trying to communicate with him. It's just our way of talking, baby. What are you talking about? We are aware, individuals, blah, 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 blah. Incarcerated individuals, this individual not sure, commonly communicate with each other in prison. BK is housed alone in a cell, and IDOC security staff maintain a safe and orderly environment for all individuals in our custody. Prisoners at Koberger's new digs at Idaho Maximum Security Institution in Kuna have had it out for the former criminology student, taking turns shouting into the vent that leads into his cell most hours of the day, they told the Daily Mail. He's made multiple complaints to prison guards that he's been unable to sleep. They leave out the complaint that he is unable to access the law library. And so I think that is one of the most important takeaways, because we have about a week, I think, before the plea thing comes up. We have this hearing coming up on whether some of the most sensitive materials will be released by Judge Hippler. So I don't know if those 2 events will coincide. We'll have to wait and see. It is an exciting time for us here. We have waited a long time. Brian Koberger's sentence ends trial, but not families' search for answers. And let's take a look at this. Legal experts say that while it is unlikely Koberger will risk reopening this case, and therefore the DP, he could still file post-conviction motions, arguing ineffective counsel and other procedural issues. Now, a lot of people have said that Nye said that the bar will block anything he tries to do. That's just how it works in Idaho. Those motions are common, and though they rarely succeed, they extend the life of the case in the courts. For the victims' families, the absence of a trial means many of their questions may never be answered. Why these students? Why this house? And why were the two roommates spared? The documents released so far provided glimpses, but little clarity. And here's another one. That's not Fox News, that's The Blast. Yes, they are putting it on blast. Dylan Morton's GoFundMe surpasses 90,000 target as donations continue to pour in. She is doing a treatment of some sort, which I think involves video games and triangles, magic underwear. It was some. Casper West did a great video. I'm sure you guys have probably perused that already, and he does show the video, the Halloween video from a year or so back where she was partying, and I'm not here to attack him, but 6 people lose their lives in a freak dairy accident at Colorado farm. So farming is a big part of life at University of Idaho, and now it's become deadly. It harkens back to the story I told you about the police officer opening the door, trying to whack me in the head, where a DoorDash seems like it would be the easiest way to safely make money, otherwise the car accident part of it. Now Dairy Farmers of America gave its own statement concerning the tragedy. We can confirm that a tragic accident occurred on one of our members' farms in Keensburg, Colorado, which resulted in the unaliving of 6 people. We are deeply saddened by the incident. I believe that they succumbed to exposure to gas, is the preliminary report on that. ISP investigating crash in Lewis County. You have to remember Lewis is a very big Mason. There's a lot of Lewiston, Lewis. Lucy, the Dark One, the Dark Overlord of the Underworld Basement, posted this, so I thought I'd share it with anybody that hadn't caught it. For whatever reason, like I said, I put on the cipher. I'm not sure what her interest in this particular one was. Idaho State Police are investigating a fatal crash that happened just after midnight on October 13th. Oh, this is October 13th, 2022. I did not look at the date. The location was eastbound State Highway 64, near milepost 24.7 in Lewis County. The vehicle, a 2002 Saturn, that was the one thing that stuck out to me, was traveling eastbound on, this is Bethany, isn't it? A little slow in the uptake sometimes there, Luce. ISP did not release the name of the driver. Interesting. The driver was, this isn't Bethany, is it? The driver was ejected from the vehicle and declared unalive. Interesting. I'm sure she'll share some details about what the hell that is. Let me catch up on the chat with you guys here. Leslie and Billy, very nice to have you with us today. Red Metal, always a pleasure. Someone who knows you're the best. Let's see, where is my Donald Ferguson and Tom? Batshit Crazy is here. Nice to see you. I am confused. Where is the fast food news? I work for Lucy now. That's partially true. Meanie Weenie pleading no contest leads to the judge saying you're guilty nearly every time, and it's largely viewed. It is, and you have the record, I guess, to go with it. It's just something to get the win, and then the benefit of whatever reduced sentence. I'm actually probably going to be I see what's been suggested. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. I hope my phone is never confiscated by that. I wanted to read that one. Yeah, God forbid what's on our phones. You're factually innocent if you fight and give in and give up. Yeah, it does seem like a real welcome to Terror Dome, you know. Meg, he told me Twizzlestick is her brother, which makes him my uncle. Okay. Twiz. She's just a devil woman. Nice to see you. If you're just watching and doing dishes or something, thank you for being here. We're going to try to keep this as entertaining. I've kind of partially done this show already on Not Kane B. I've been using that as kind of a filter to see what works. I thought that documentary was pretty interesting. Hopefully, don't you talk about my pandas, Twiz. I'm Rick James, bitch. Okay, yeah, well, Lucy will share with us at some point, my producer, what is doing. Or am I her producer? I don't know. This is the Lucy Morningstar live show. Idaho man alive in private Arizona prison, identified by local. And Meg P has expressed her concern for BK's well-being. And I've been saying that for quite a while now. And all this money that's pouring into certain people, in my opinion, some of it's being directed to contacts people have in the prisons through maybe family members. I don't know what prisons there, but there's relations, and I feel the torment is not a natural sentiment. I don't know. It does seem contrived. Authorities identified a 38-year-old prisoner who was unalived in a private. Here's where they got me. It's the private. Now, I guess all prisons are privately owned. I don't know why they specifically clarify that this one is a private prison in Arizona, and it's owned not by Wackenhut, but by what's his name? It's IDOC, I think. Segura Correctional Center. He was one of hundreds of men who were being housed at the $28.7 million a year to house up to 1,200 Idaho's prisoners. So not only does it happen in Arizona, to Arizonans, it happens in Idaho. There's many cases. Obviously, the ACLU is investigating a Hawaiian prisoner that was unalived. One stabbed, according to Honolulu Civil Beat. 6 Hawaiian prisoners were indicted this month, and it goes on and on. Mewz. Let's see, we got Pullman PD sees increase in calls, multiple assaults this Halloween weekend. Now, that, would just, okay, sure, this is, I believe, from either Lucy or my assistant producer, Rochelle, and thank you for this one, because Pullman residents experience theft, alcohol offenses, and assaults here on November 2nd. Today's show brought to you by Kickstarter. This one is nasty as no, yeah, it grows on you. It does have that orangey tang to it. You just cannot mix it with the Jack. The Pullman Police Department on November 2nd, 2022, guys, saw an increase of 23 phone calls this Halloween weekend compared to last year, amounting to 150 calls. 6 calls for alcohol, 13 for theft and burglary, 16 noise complaints, 11 about parking. On Friday, a 26-year-old was arrested on charges of third-degree assault. Additionally, a 20-year-old was charged with fourth-degree and second-degree assault. On Saturday, a caller reported being assaulted by 5 women the night prior, and the department's investigation is ongoing. I love that. A 21-year-old was arrested and charged with second-degree assault on Sunday. It does, Pullman, it looks like that small Mayberry Hick quiet town, but it's just, it is literally a, what do you call it? A powder keg waiting to just pop off to me. It seems that way with the littlest, slightest thing can disturb the tranquility of that town. They are doing their best, I'm sure, to get it under control. What's happening in DC, I will make a comment about it. DC, I know somebody that I used to work with named Plea, and he lived in DC, and he said the crime there has always just been absolutely nuts. So Trump is trying to make it a safe place. And he's called in the National Guard, and he's given police powers to not only profile, but just pretty much to arrest anyone they want. That whole proposition itself is pretty scary to me. I get the intent. I get the intent. They said they've arrested 600 people as of last report. And if you remember, what's his name? Something 2.0, whatever his name, Reggie 2.0. He's like, I walked through downtown today, downtown DC, and I didn't see any homeless people. And all they're doing is arresting these people for not having a home and making it more, and just putting them back in the system, and even making it more impossible for them to, if they are trying to better themselves. All right. Lewiston gas station employee accused of offering money for girls' underwear. Now, I've heard of the foot people with the $50 for a picture of your foot, these types of things. This one is a little bit out there here. I'm opening up the room so you guys can get comfortable and all set up in there. Make sure all my things are on, and I will. Oh, I have to hold on. Give me 1 second, and I am gonna get so I can chat with you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been chatting because I didn't do the login thing yet. So, I should do it as Buddy Bear. I don't know if you're not familiar with this story. I popped in on Dago's chat. It's like, hey, Kane, what's up, Buddy Bear? So, of course, I had to make an alt named Buddy Bear. Got a kick out of it. It was funny then. Need to be there. Let's see if this works. Miss Potts, I was wondering where you. I didn't get my Semper Fi motherfuckers. I figured you were just waiting to see if I did another bikini video of you. So I wasn't sweating it too bad. Nice to see you, darling. Very, very lovely. Spots, and we also have the lovely Sleuthy sweetheart Stormy with us tonight. It's going to be a great show. And Jenn will be here. She did RSVP. Nothing. There you are. Very nice to see you. Love doing a salamander. I thought I saw Amy Conway a ways back. What did I say? What? Wait, a minor, or is he saying? Oh, let me get back to the thing in the jabber. Let me check. Yep, we're good. Here is the link for you, my friends. Oh, you did? Okay, I missed it. I'm sorry. I was busy. Uh-oh. Well, there's your link, Sleuthy. As soon as you're ready, go ahead and I'll finish up the Mewz later if you'd like to join us now. I'm sure I as I usually do, I didn't really wait for her response before posting the thumbnail that she'd be on the show. Yeah, so here's just these people again with the Brian Koberger was looking up psychopaths and trying to sell his car thing as an emergency. Here we go. And by the way, Sleuthy, if you are unable to use the link, if you possibly can, try a different browser. That seems to be the solution for what Miss Potts was in. And Miss Potts also, if you'd like to join us,
I have to preface the answer with
I can't
he's
stand
now
these
with the people that he talks to.
I don't know, JJ couldn't stand the narrator on that documentary, but I thought he was nice. He was pleasant. Okay, this was... What was this about? This is great. The research that they do on these attack ads is just fantastic. You know, you have Brian Anton, who deeply studied all 600 pages of the ISP, when there, I believe, only 550 or 90, whatever. He did 6 extra. He did extra credit. Hey! Oh, wow. Hi there. Nice to see you. Good looking.
Am I on here?
You are on here.
Am I on here?
You're in the Purge. Welcome. How's it feel?
Good. I can't see anything, but that's all right.
You look great. Don't worry about it. You're doing fine. Welcome to the Purge.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming. So let me read this real quick. The surviving roommates details seeing Kaylee. So now she saw Kaylee moments before she was taken out. Sprint downstairs while screaming. There was an intruder inside the house. So can you imagine if that was true, that she didn't call 911?
I preface the answer with
on that.
He's now with the people that he talks to.
Is that
right? So for his cell phone to be super active, now it really doesn't need to be because he's living in the same house with those people that he only contacts.
Yeah, sorry, these people just won't go away.
So it was, again,
so what's good with you?
Not much. I'm good. A little nervous, I guess. I don't know.
Are you? I feel a little bit of tension. I like it. I'm feeding up.
It's not tension. I've just never been on anyone else's panel. Well, I guess Mike's, but
you're more familiar over there. Yeah? Well, we all
right?
Enjoy your show. I especially love the Friday night. I did a pop-up live and missed it, but we popped in for a second to check you guys out. That's a great show you do. And everybody loves the little quizzes. Now, I'll be honest with you, I cheated. I took one of your questions and I popped it into Google, and I found your little teacher's answer book off Google. Now, I haven't been using it, but I do know where you're getting your questions. And they're great. Yeah, they're really awesome. And Colder Covered does a good thing on Mondays, the Monday Funnies, which are great.
Yeah. I try to be a little different with the quizzes. I was going to be a smart ass with the trace evidence one and put one of the answers as in like someone traces the evidence. I thought that would be funny.
That's a good meme right there. I like it. Did you just recently get interested in the Idaho4 case, or is it you've been around a long time?
No.
I remember seeing you in Lana, but
So the thing is that I don't follow this case. That's why I was like, I hope you don't want me to talk about Idaho 4 because I didn't even know who that very attractive old man was up on the screen. I really don't follow this case at all. It's not my case to cover. I do a lot of other cases, but no, it's kind of weird that I'm in this community. I was a mod for a different creator at a time when this case wasn't that active, and then the case kind of popped back up, and I just kind of landed in this community somehow and made a bunch of friends. But no, I've been in the true crime community for a really long time. Um, my grandmother's case is what actually got me into true crime.
Can you tell us a little bit about that if you like?
My grandmother is Betty Lou Beats. She was the Black Widow of Texas. She was executed in 2000 for murdering her husband and burying him in the yard. A makeshift well that he made for her, oddly enough. And my dad helped her bury the body, bunch of stuff. She's been featured on a couple ID shows, Deadly Women, Evil Lives Here. It's kind of weird to see there's a bunch of YouTubers that have covered her story as well. So that's kind of odd, but her story
when was this case, if I could interrupt you real quick?
So it happened back in the 80s. She was caught in 85 and her trial was in 85. I was born in 84, so I was just a baby.
I was gonna say, you don't look like you're even close to old enough to have followed that case. Wow,
No,
so your dad was an accessory. Was she convicted of everything and all that? And was your dad also implicated too?
He testified against her.
Okay.
So it's a pretty wild case, but yeah, he testified against her and got off. It was a bunch of like abuse stuff, but if you look at the story, like she had a husband that I think she shot like 3 times and he kept going back to her, and there was another husband that was also found, and there's a lot to it. I think that there are probably more victims, to be honest with you. It was kept from me until I was 15, and she had requested to meet me. And so I went to Huntsville State Penitentiary with my family, and I got to meet her a week before she was executed.
At what age was this?
I was 15.
Holy cow. Had you met your grandmother before that? I guess not, huh?
No.
What? Oh, that is. I have to give you the Golden Hanger Award for best story on the Purge as far as introduction to true crime.
I'm like sweating. I'm a little nervous talking about it, but
I understand. If you don't have to say anymore if you're not comfortable.
No, you're good, but Texas, what I was saying in the comments earlier when you were talking about that guy getting executed, Texas, they like executing people. She was on death row from 85 to 2000, so what, 15 years? If I'm doing math correctly, I'm not very good at math.
A lot of people have said, oh, why was he so worried about getting the DP so quick? And there are examples of that with like Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma guy, allegedly, that instead of having a trial for him, they just had 3 judges get together and, if I'm remembering this correct, JJ, and say he was guilty and put him, like, within a year he was gone. So it's not unheard of. Of course, that was a federal case. But that 15 years is actually, now, did she try to appeal or anything along those lines?
Yeah, there was a couple appeals. I actually remember going to Austin. I think it was that same week to try to get just a execution of stay, like to just get her to be able for her to just like have the remainder of her life instead of, killing her because she was so old at that point. Like what's the point, I guess.
What exactly is the story of the crime, if you don't mind?
So, the story of the crime is he was shot to death, but she claimed abuse, but she had like this entire like she staged everything out. Like he went on this boat, like fishing thing, and his medication was spilt out on the boat, and he just went missing, and this whole ordeal. And he was a firefighter, Jimmy Don Beats.
He was was he brass in the brass, or was he just a fireman?
I'm not sure.
That is really wild. And so it was kind of an open and shut thing, and then did he drown, or she poisoned him? If you don't mind, I'm sorry.
No, she shot him in the head while he was sleeping, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, stop it. All right, that's the show, folks. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate being here tonight. I've always wanted to ask you, I love your little displays behind you. What do you collect there? Are these like Beanie Babies or?
No, I collect a bunch of vintage stuff. So everything from super creepy like vintage dolls that are cracking to Cupies to like old phones. Like I have an old pink phone that you have to like, you can hang up on people, like slam the phone down on people. I don't know, I've got a bunch of stuff back there.
Yeah, you do. Maybe someday on your show you can do a flyby and show us all the stuff on
like a show and tell.
That's great. And what were you saying? If you can find a doll for Too Fast That Fleas, it's a Bucky doll, and his dog is so brokenhearted that he had to throw it away, and he's dying to find another one. It's not like Bucky's the gas station, but it's just like it's a bucktooth little blue doll. I don't know if you got one in your Connect collection there. Wow, that is so. Your dad.
Are you talking about this guy?
Get out.
Like.
Oh, that's Howdy Doody.
Oh yeah, that's Howdy Doody.
Very close though. Nice. You do have some knowledge.
Like what?
But
yeah, I know. I collect like weird old stuff like this.
Just it's random, just whatever kind of catches your heart or eye at the time.
Yeah,
That's
I collect vintage photos, stuff like that.
Oh. I had them and I lost them, but I had a bunch of slides from the 1940s that Army photographer had taken of all the stuff that was Buddhist and stuff like that, and just all kinds of random pictures over there in Nepal and China when the Chinese took over that they removed.
Oh, that's cool.
I wish I had them because they're probably worth tons of money, but I unfortunately lost them.
That's
wow.
awesome.
So this was your dad's side of the family. You were already born. How? So you grew up with your mom, I'm assuming.
Kinda, yeah.
I see. It was a stormy growing up, I assume. But you see, I wanted to have you on the show because I like you, and I think that you are the kind of person that won't take bullshit, but also at the same time, you
Absolutely not.
appreciate goodness and people that are nice, which seems to be a lost art, I guess you'd say, in this day and age. Does that sound about?
Yeah, I try, but it's very people don't like that. I've found out that people don't like that.
Well, they want to get away with it. Why they just expect you to put up with it, of course, right?
Oh yeah, of course. They're like, "Oh wait, we can't walk all over this girl or push this girl around." So
They learn
yeah,
quick, I
it's cool.
imagine, right? Now, did you say
Yeah.
Mike was going to join us also as well? I'd like to have
I'm
him
not
up.
sure. I don't
He's
know if he's
welcome
still in
to.
chat or not,
I put a link.
but
I thought I saw him. But so okay, so you have a family now, or your own family? What do you mind? Personal questions.
um, there's Mike. Yeah, I have a family, kind of. Me, my husband, my dogs.
Right on. What kind of dog?
I've got a pug and 2 weenies.
Wiener dogs, huh? You know they
Wiener
were
dogs. I got
the
2
Dachshund,
wieners.
right? They were
Yeah.
they were bred to chase foxes, I think, down the hole, right? So they
Yeah,
love to
they're
dig.
hunting dogs.
Mm-hmm. That's fun. That's fun. So what else? You do a lot of random stuff on your channel. Do you focus on, other than in the chats and stuff, on any kind of research on Idaho4?
No, I don't really do this case at all.
You don't have an interest in it, huh?
No, I you know, when it first came out, I was interested in it, and then it just like it got really crazy and it got beyond me. Like it became way too much. I focus on a lot of other cases. Like right now, I'm covering the Emmanuel Haro case, the missing baby. I cover a lot of kids' cases, which is really hard. I do like I covered Austin Drummond, the fugitive that the quadruple homicide. I don't know if you saw that live that I did.
I think it did. That was in Washington?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee, okay. Maybe I'm not as familiar with it as I thought. There's been a few of them, and it's usually like the son. Is that the one with the son did it? Or do we not know?
No, it was he unalived, allegedly. Let me say allegedly unalived. A mother, a father, the grandmother, and the uncle. The uncle was only 15 and abandoned the baby at a random person's house. And then he was on the run for a while. And then they found him and a bunch of other people, accomplices, I think 4 people. So that's going on. I'll be doing an update live on that once I get some more information. I just cover cases that I find interest in. So you never know. Like I covered Shabusiness last week,
Yeah,
I think it
you
was.
got me interested in the business. If nobody's familiar with that in the chat, she is this emo girl that decided to lop off her boyfriend's head and leave it in his mom's basement in a bucket. And she was about as cold and callous as one could possibly be, if you can imagine.
That's not the only thing she whopped off. Oh, hey, Mike.
What up?
What's going on, brother? How you doing? Nice to see you.
Not too much.
Oh, now I'm not up here alone. I can relax.
Yeah, we've
I'm
had
all
her
nervous
under
up
the
here,
hot
everybody.
seat for
Sorry.
the whole time.
Yeah,
Now
I
let's
was
get
like,
into
okay.
Mike's past. Let's go. How you doing, brother?
buddy.
Good to see you, man.
Now
What's up?
you get the 24 question game.
Oh, it's big.
They don't call it the Purge for nothing, right? No, it's listen, they start here and then they go on to greatness, and I remain this tiny little channel. I'm like the Tonight Show of YouTube. This is the launching point. Mike, have you been at it a while with the true crime?
Since what, 2019, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Doing it on YouTube lives and stuff like that, or what?
No,
Just
that was
following?
just part of a channel.
And
Since then, and then what was it? I don't know. It's probably been a year ago. I decided to do something on my own.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was a slow start. You got to figure out somewhere to start in this shit.
Yeah, you talk about it, and until you do it, it'll never happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, trust me, I procrastinated for a long time. I had fucking logos and shit for fucking a year and everything planned out before anything ever even happened. You know, everything from names to social media sites to, you know, all that good stuff.
I like the
don't know what
name
to
Last
think anymore.
24. It's like first 48. Just I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
First pretty. I love that show.
Yeah, it's funny because in some cities they actually put effort into investigating homicides, even for people that are living on the street. They actually try. It seems like in this case that there was a completely zero effort from the beginning, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree on that.
Your effort on what again? Sorry, I spaced out.
That the police weren't doing shit.
Yeah,
As far
it's
as,
almost like everything just wanted to get like brushed up, covered up, and get them out of town, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that's raised eyebrows and stuff like that. Obviously, I mean, yeah, there's been stuff like that's happened there, but like that before, not like that, but you know, that college is what fuels that town. So, you know, you start having drama around that. The university don't want that around there.
Yeah, they're quick
So,
to sweep things under the rug.
yeah, I don't know. That's weird. You know, you can speculate a couple different ways on it.
There's like, seems like 50 different ways to speculate in this case,
dude,
with every tip,
you
twist,
know,
and turn.
did they just play stupid? You know, you know, I don't know though. Once you like to watching their body cams of them going through that house, you know, obviously you've looked for things that would stick out that, you know, like that's trying to get covered up. They act dumb. I swear those police officers act just as dumb as the girls that were left in the house. That's the way I take it.
Yeah, I think they're on the same wavelength as whoever they're talking to.
It's sad to say.
And they're not as dumb as they act, for sure.
This is beyond anything, but who the F leaves the beer cans all over the stairs? Like
college kids?
You were walking up the stairs, there's like beer cans on the left and the right.
Well, that's
Have you ever been
one of
to
the
a redneck's house or a college house?
Bro.
If you look at how much alcohol is in that house and how often they drink, alcohol is not cheap.
No, it's yeah. I don't know. How can you drink that much without drugs? Is what I'm asking.
They definitely have a high tolerance some way, somehow. But it's funny that you bring up the stairs because there was that McDonald's cup in one of the pictures that's sitting on the stairs. And then in a later picture, it's crushed. Somebody stepped on it. So there was obviously just a great example of no investigation on that particular piece. And it just seems to proliferate throughout. But yeah, I've heard something, and I have no verification on it whatsoever. And I think a lot of us have speculated that one or more of the girls were working at clubs, and this is how the money was coming in, and they were dating more than several men.
There was one that I forget where it was. It was somewhat close to there. I think it was in Washington. A club. But there's so much that's on social media that, or whatever, on the internet that these girls could have did like right from their bedrooms. And made crazy amount of money.
But yeah, I was talking about the foot fetish thing. People give you $50 for a picture of your foot. I mean, how are you gonna turn that kind of money down? I mean, it's like, I don't know. I would sell my feet pictures for $50 if anybody wants one.
We got some
No,
local
Brian,
trash
not
bags
Kiki.
that do like the OnlyFans, and it's like, dude, wow, these guys pay
I
for.
mean, hey,
They don't know
selling
behind.
feet pics, you don't even have to show your face.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It doesn't have to be your foot. I mean, some girls selling bath water for $300.
You'd be surprised at what some weirdos will buy on the
Oh
internet.
yeah.
Well,
Jesus.
I keep saying that we already hit rock bottom before the turn of the century as far as reality TV and the internet and the stalking and the kidnapping and all that. And so we've just been rehashing the same shabusiness for 25 years. Now you have this OnlyFans and these types of things, and it's gone from 0 to 100, it seems like in 3, 4, 5 years. And you have a whole generation of kids that's, they're buying their parents' houses from what they make on OnlyFans. But then there's a large portion of those girls that do it and make nothing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell the ones that don't know how to market, let's say.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say OnlyFans probably follows the structure of the YouTube family, where they take 60 to 70% of whatever money that you make. And so it can't be, it's got to be very difficult. It's not like, oh, I got $1,000. Well, actually you got 4 of them, and that was a million hits.
That's a good question.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
I'd be mad.
I know. We got somebody that I know.
I don't think the mob would even, they would laugh at those numbers. Like, 30% seems fair, or that's excessive. But I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I don't think they do, man.
Jage, what's up, my brother?
Is this the Purge? We purging?
JJ.
Howdy, man. Nice to join you all here on the panel. Good to see you, sir.
Wow.
Kane. Good to see you, fellow Purgers.
Did you come to bring peace to the Stormy Inquisition here?
I don't know what that means, sir. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Is this the Purge?
We are
purging,
sir.
I feel lost. Are you lost?
No, I heard some of your all's conversations, and Mike, is it, sir? Nice to meet you, Mike.
Yes, sir. Pleasure.
Welcome to the Purge.
Thank you for being on, by the way, Mike. Appreciate it.
One
Absolutely.
of the things I thought was important, y'all just noted on, or something y'all just said, something important to note, is the police that we see in these body camera footage are acting just as clueless as the quote unquote surviving roommates, or quote unquote victims / surviving quote unquote surviving roommates. I question whether or not they were there at all still, but why would the cops be so clueless, right?
Yeah, good question. Is it by design?
Well, I think all of that was we're seeing is being presented to us for a reason. First and foremost, the body camera footage does not comport with the alleged 911 call. Again, that was a leaked 911 call. Not the least of which the time doesn't fit, right? We see a homeboy rolling up at a time after which the the 911 call takes place via their own timestamps.
Well, somebody pointed out that in one of the interviews, when the police gather together to discuss, one of them says none of them know anything, and I think it's Blaker who says they know, they all know.
Oh, it's Gunderson. He says that. Yeah, he says they all know. Yeah, he says they all know.
So it'll be interesting to see if we get another. I think we're due for a different body cam on that.
Well, here's a fun fact, sir. We were told Nunez was the first one on the scene, and now we're seeing this guy Snyder and his body camera. What, again, part of the magic show.
Misdirection, yes, sir. Welcome him, Gerald Hall, and Beach Babe, Amanda Smith. Good to see you, Tara. Hello, hello. Brian Ramblings. I can't believe you're here. I finally got you back. Joanne, good to see you. Brian Rambles was one of us in the Thought Riot days, and then he vanished. He pops up, back up, though, so it's good to see you. Ray and Net, good to see you also as well. What else are you thinking, JJ?
Is this the Purge?
It's Schindler's List, actually.
What are your thoughts, sir? You've seen some of these body cameras. You've seen some photographs. Where's the crime?
The crime is in the lies. You have a direct lie from Dylan, or Miss Potts calls them Dillinson or Dithany or Billin. I don't know, whatever it is. They both try to tell the narrative that they were asleep. And it's almost like they thought the police weren't going to look at their phone records to see that.
That's part of the magic show,
well,
sir.
The part that bothers me is it doesn't bother the police down the road, even that they were lying.
Well, exactly. And we see in moment one when Dylan provides, or Killen, whatever we're calling her there, provides the details of the alleged assailant that she witnessed. She says he is either 2 inches shorter or 2 inches taller, and homeboy immediately calls it 6 foot. We're told that's Snyder now, not Nunez.
I didn't catch that one. Right on. Thank you.
Yeah, she definitely did say that. And then after that, she says, "Oh, they had the build of a basketball player, but that doesn't make any difference."
I think
so. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
you talk.
Let me get halfway through my sentence, and then you can interrupt me.
You talk, and I'll interrupt you in like 30 seconds.
I forgot what I was going to say now. I did forget. You get inside my brain bone, and you start twisting shit around. I think I need to take my earbuds out. They're controlling my brain. David Bird, very nice to see you. Welcome in.
Sir, you sound undernourished. Perhaps you need a sidebar.
If you're hungry, snap into a sidebar. Brian Ramblings, thank you for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Oh, it looks like Sleuthy got it. Congratulations. Not only a star guest, but that was a great opening star. I got to be honest with you. You definitely get the Golden Hanger Award. Damn, what was I going to say?
I wasn't expecting to talk about that. Sorry. It just kind of came out, but it is exactly how I got into true crime, not going to lie. So
what are some other big cases, just a sidebar real quick, that you've looked into, that you've covered?
That I looked into?
There was like Gabby Petito and OJ.
Yeah, for sure. Gabby Petito, Chris Watts, Chad Dorman, Kylie Rodney, Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells. The list goes on. There's a ton.
Who was that girl here in Orlando, the one that allegedly didn't take out her daughter?
Casey Anthony. I watched that trial when I actually lived in Orlando for 15 years, and I watched that entire trial when I lived there while it was happening.
Oh, you were living in Orlando. Did you happen to see her at the gas station like a lot of people said they did?
No. Nah. Whispered, yeah. She's something. I've got a bunch of mug shots of her. And I do have Polaroids of when I went to go visit her at Huntsville. Those are my receipts because a lot of people like to lie on the internet. So I come with receipts
What do you mean?
always.
Fill us in. Went to go see her.
Huh?
What? Fill us in. What do you mean went to go see her?
Before she got executed.
Oh, dude, I'm on a whole nother planet.
Is that you're talking about the one that Charlize Theron played in the movie Monster? Or is that?
No.
I thought we were still talking about Casey Anthony.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know where the transition was on that.
No, I segued into something else. I do that. Never mind.
Ooh.
I'll allow it.
Who's this fella?
Is this the Purge?
Who you got up on the screen right there, Jage?
That's sir. I don't have a Muppet for him yet, but that's Dale Shackleford. So, in May 28th, 1999, he allegedly murdered his ex-wife and Fight Club author Chuck Palahniuk's father, Fred Palahniuk, in Latah County, just south of Lewiston, rural Latah County,
Lewiston,
Idaho.
Nice.
The prosecutor was Bill Thompson. When Bill Thompson, so allegedly, by all appearances, the ex-wife that was in the burn-up cabin, this man's alleged ex-wife there, his ex-wife had a hysterectomy. The dead deceased lady in the cabin there with Chuck Palahniuk's father had a uterus. So I've yet to figure out how that works. Yeah. But go ahead.
He is very deserving of a Muppetizer. If I've ever seen
dude,
anyone.
Trust me. We got the Muppet Factory in business later today. He'll be getting a Muppet because I'm doing a whole coverage of this next week.
I love the Jason
Sundays.
Jensen one that you sent me in front of the human being. His offices.
Well, then you're gonna enjoy the Jason Jensen lowlights reel that I sent you and posted on my YouTube here before the Purge today.
Was it ever reported of whether or not he found the knife?
Oh, I got it in that video for you, sir. It's fantastic. You're gonna enjoy it.
Oh, you're kidding. You sent that to me?
Can't
or
make this shit up. I mean, I can post you a link if you want to watch it right now.
Will I get a copyright?
No, I try to make it as much copyright free as possible, with the exception of my Benny Hill music I put in there.
Oh. Well, can we just watch it and not play audio?
I mean, you won't have the same effect.
Yeah. And they'll strike me down for any music, and I'll never
folks,
be able
can you
to
just
recover.
go check it out on Operation GCD. It's the Idaho4 updates with Kane B's The Purge. It's the top most recent video I posted.
Oh, it's in
I'll
there?
put a
Okay.
link here in the chat. So back to Shackleford. You were comparing that case earlier from whatever 1987 VHS special you had on earlier with the most boring narrator possible. No offense, sir. But
I like
when we're looking for a comparative case, look no further than Latah County and Bill Thompson in the prosecution of Dale Shackleford. So on above this whole uterus situation, Shackleford was, by all evidence, was in Lewiston at the time of the murders. Not unlike BK apparently, right? It's Wiz's favorite town. So we see when Bill Thompson could not get a plea agreement with this guy, forcing him on these two murders, he then charges Shackleford's fiance for an accessory after the fact. When she doesn't cooperate, he then charges her mother for an accessory after the fact. These women did prison time. When they wouldn't flip, they then charged his fiance's father. He would then later flip and they would drop those charges. So this is the machinations of how Bill Thompson thinks of the word justice and the machinations behind which he'll bring these matters to, quote unquote, Bilbert justice there in Latah County.
Well, I think one of the takeaways from that boring documentary we had was
Super
that
boring documentary.
It seems to be nationwide, that the system would shut down without the plea deal. If everybody took everything to court, there would be no way to handle. That's why they throw the plea deals out. They don't care if you're guilty or innocent. They just want to move on to the next case. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I think you're missing the point here, sir. My point there being was, if I apologize for my verbose explanations here, Bill Thompson and gang, the whole propaganda machine started rolling out in late May that Brian Kohberger called his folks at 6:30 in the morning. So in doing so, that seems to indicate to me that he was working the same playbook here that he did with Shackelford. That he's going to charge Kohberger's parents for accessories after the fact unless they flip.
Oh, snap. Yeah, there's all
what
kinds
he does,
of
man.
behind the scenes threats and pressure that they very adept at applying. When you say
are
Mike,
correct, sir.
I think we lost Mike's interest. Mike's playing Space Invaders over there.
Oh no, dude, I was just in the chat.
What's interesting to note about this case also is the responding officers to that burning cabin with those two bodies in it was Sheriff Skiles, the current sheriff, and the current chief deputy, Best. Now, we've seen in the recent reports that these folks had some more play in the matters of this Idaho4 investigation than we previously knew publicly. For example, the sheriff has never, to my understanding, has never made a public statement about the case. Most heinous murder in the state's history, and the sheriff is, crickets. And then Best here, his chief deputy, who was the other responding officer on scene back in May 28, 1999 for Latol County Sheriff's Office. Best is the guy that interviewed the neighbor who allegedly walked into the crime scene wearing his uncle's ATF hat and jacket while they're allegedly moving the bodies out of the scene, right?
Wow. Go on.
Oh, I'm done, sir. That was about it.
Oh, I've got an echo. Oh, why do I have an echo right now?
But isn't that strange? I don't know. What are your thoughts there, Stormy or Mike? Do these seem like they were trying to work the same moves on Kohberger here, right? With pressure in the family.
Yeah. A little bit, maybe. I don't really talk about this case much. That's Mike's department.
Oh hell! Listen to this shit.
The pressure's on.
Yeah,
Mike.
I told you. Look, I told Kane I was going to come up
Purge,
here, but
Mike.
I was
Welcome
not.
to the Purge.
Yeah, I was not going to talk about this case.
Unreal. That's worth it.
I can't be up here too much longer anyway, so.
Oh, you're so full of it.
I'm not.
Jesus. That's unreal.
I don't know enough about this case to give an opinion, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna, I don't like.
What's your impression of guilty, not guilty, corruption, no corruption?
It looks like a lot of corruption. It looks like a shit show. That's why I don't like messing with it. Like, I don't know what to think about it, to be honest with you. I just don't have enough facts and all that. I would have loved to have seen it go to trial. That's what I like watching, is trials, but we didn't get that, so.
I thought he was not guilty until shit got weird and shit started coming out. Like, I mean, just the interviews with the two people that went through his cell phone. I mean, what was on his cell phone was on his cell phone, and it was whatever they said was, there wasn't a lot of info there, but I mean, I don't know. Some of this stuff.
But what evidence have we had, sir, that is actually evidence from his cell phone? For example, the state was ready to produce an expert that was an expert in quote unquote click activity in regards to the proof that Brian Kohberger purchased anything off of Amazon and searched for a sheath later. So that's not very much. That sounds like some very abstract evidence, if you ask me.
My question was, though, is that if, like, the whole K-bar and sheet and all of that,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Like all of that, if I was going to trial and someone said, "Hey, you're being charged with this," wouldn't you come out and be like, "Hey, here's what I ordered, here's mine, test it out." Like, wouldn't you just want to give it up if you had it? Like,
Right, that's a great question. And did he purchase it? Is the next great question, because that has yet to been proven
right,
either.
right, exactly. So that's a big question for me. Is like, I would want to prove my innocence. So did he ever have it, or was
Well,
that something
I
else?
don't think
Like
they
I
ever
heard
proved it. I don't think they ever proved that he even bought it. So that's, you can't prove a negative,
exactly.
right?
Just like I heard that the trash and all that stuff was planted or whatever. Like, what else was planted? I don't know. There's so many things that I don't know about this case.
And then,
No, for
Fact
sure.
or
And,
fiction.
Mike, I wasn't trying to belittle your point about the cell phone stuff. I was just making a point. They're not showing us any of these evidence. It's claims without evidence. And for example, the DoorDash, right? The state kept arguing this DoorDash stuff, changing the timelines, changing who ordered it, Zana or Ethan. And then when it came to, the hilt on the matter back in the spring here, I think it was circa late March, early April, when the defense said, look, these quote unquote self-authenticating records, the defense objected to it, and the state could not prove that. And they said, we'll get back to you on this DoorDash. So to date, they've never proven there was a DoorDash.
Yeah, and then it's, on his side, it all got shut down, before they could put out any of the proof that they had. So it's a.
All the states argued their proofs, sir. I mean, they have a fabulous PowerPoint. I mean, that's what they testified to under oath.
Oh yeah.
I'm smoking right now too, sir. Kane's a real stickler about these things.
I'm a jerk. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I appreciate it. What was it gonna? I had a point before. What was it? Where was it going with it? I think I have another thing. Okay, I have a story that you guys might find amusing, Stormy and Mike. Let me pull this. Excuse me. Jeez, I'm sorry. That was loud.
Hotline. Domino.
It's hotline. Yeah, it was dumbass actually calling.
What the hell's going on here, sir? Is this the Purge?
And we're being attacked. I think somebody just tried to swing a door at my head. This story is out of Lutz, which is just right next to Tampa. I'm trying to find the window. You're gonna get a kick out of it, I swear. Okay, there it is. Let me move Jage real quick. A man arrested after drone carrying rugs crashes into a home.
What?
It's the first time. He's like the Amazon of rug dealers, I guess. And I want to know how he was caught. He was carrying, the thing was carrying METH and fent, and it crashed into a Fort Lauderdale home. Jason Brooks, 49, was arrested Tuesday on a variety of charges. The arrest came after the homeowner in Luce called deputies, saying Brooks showed up at their front door. He had crashed his drone in the homeowner's backyard and was trying to get it back. Deputies said the homeowner gave the drone and multiple bags of narcotics back to him.
That's wild.
Deputy said Brooks was unregistered and missing a proper tag.
How much weight can these drones carry?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to know. Because rugs can be pretty, like, how big was the rug?
Yeah.
It was carrying two different kinds, and they have a thing now where they're doing Walmart deliveries with a drone, and they drop a parachute in your backyard.
So this is I was about to say, I ordered some food a couple weeks ago and it was supposed to be delivered by drone. And I was going in the front yard and the backyard and I was waiting to see this drone deliver my food. And luckily I was paying attention because the drone ended up just being a person driving up to my front door, and the drone never delivered anything. There was never a drone.
Didn't even
But
tip that
I
bit.
wanted to see how it worked. So yeah, these things can do that, but you wouldn't be suspicious like seeing just like a rug flying in the air, like
Yeah.
come on. Be smart. That's not very smart.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he had the balls to go and claim it. I mean, he could have just
Yeah.
avoided jail altogether and left it be.
Well, the man wasn't smart to begin with because, I mean, look at the way that he was transferring his rugs, as you would say. We don't want to say the D word.
You know what a lot of these guys are doing now? So Uber, you can do special package deliveries to where basically you're scheduling an Uber driver to come pick up a package from your house and deliver it to someplace.
Yes.
And that's how they're sending it around town so they don't have to freaking go transport it.
I actually ran into myself a case like this from a woman, and she was obviously hot when I got there. And she had a lamp, and she's checking out at Michael's Crafts, you know. And I'm like standing there, like waiting for her to give me this package to deliver. And she's like all sketchy the whole time. And we finally get to my car, and she reaches in and she puts something inside of a pack of smokes. And I just wrapped the bag up, put it in the back, drove it to the place. Where I got to, the guy was definitely on something also as well. Very accelerated, if you know what I mean. And so I've already come across that delivery thing. And the funny thing is about it is they keep volunteering me for that. Because I just do food normally. But for some reason, they'll check in my preferences where I added that, where I didn't. So I was like, what is this popping up? I thought I was going to have to give her a ride. And yeah, so they also do with the drones, that's how they get stuff into the prisons. I know that's been going on a long time.
Yes. So in the Drummond case, they were bringing things into the prison by drones, and they were covering up the lights on the drones with tape. And I found that to be very interesting. I was like, for real?
Yeah, it's unreal. I didn't know this was a thing until then.
Yeah.
But it's pretty
I thought that was
obvious.
crazy.
You know? I mean, I'd like to know how much weight they could carry, though. Obviously, it depends on the size.
Yeah,
but
that's my question is how big are the drones that they're using? How much weight can they carry? Because I'm afraid, like, I was afraid my food was going to fall. I was like, are they going to drop my food? Because, like, I ordered sushi. I was like, is it just going to, like, land upside down? Like,
that's why you didn't tip them.
well,
Yeah,
no.
wasabi all
I
over your
to
porch.
see how it worked.
Yeah, you wouldn't think like a pizza or something would be very practical. But I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think a rug would be very practical either, and you would think somebody would be able to see it flying across the sky.
I mean, hey, you see drones all the time. It's not anything new, so
I can't say I've ever seen a drone, but maybe I'm not paying attention either.
Yeah, most people don't know they're up there. The police in most cities have at least they have a entire department for it, and they usually have between 5 and 20 drones that they bought them all. What happened here locally was they got all these really killer drones, and they had a training class at the local community college here, and they trained you to get your pilot certification, and you became an officer. Well, what happened was they bought like 30 drones, and then Governor DeSantis said no Chinese drones will be allowed
Oh,
in any
shit.
law enforcement agency. So they had to get rid of them. And they have big ones. They have one that they flew over my studio because I used to be directly across the street from the Fraternal Order of Police. And they used to mess with me all the time with drones. But anyway, they had one that was like, I would say a quarter size F-19 fighter. It was bright red. And they flew it over my studio at like 1 mile an hour. I looked up, and there's this giant F-19 just slowly hovering over me. I was like, man.
Don't do
And,
that in Texas. It'll get shot down.
well, if you shoot a police drone down, it's almost equivalent.
Well,
It's a felony.
well, not a police drone, but somebody else's drone. If you try to, like, say, for instance, my pesky neighbors, say if they try to like fly a drone into my backyard because they're really nosy and pesky, I'll just shoot it down.
Well, you actually have to file with the FAA or whatever it is to not have your airspace accessible by a drone. Otherwise, that is
Really?
the space above your house is public, unless you file that. Like, there's a thing with Google Maps where you can have your
That's
house
crazy.
not be pictured like on Street View and that type of thing.
Oh, okay. Because I thought at one point it was illegal for police to put a drone, like fly a drone and view whatever's in your backyard because it was like that would be considered them needing a warrant.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that as far as surveillance goes. I know that what they do with them now is when they are serving a warrant, they'll fly it over the house to see if there's anything that they have to worry about to clear it before they go in.
Right. Right.
Warrants. That's a cute idea. We saw Brian Koberger. They didn't need any warrants for anything. We now know the FBI was tracking him far earlier than what anyone is willing to believe or willing to admit in the past before these reports were released.
Yeah, from what I understand, they were tracking him the next day.
Well, not only that, we have the secret grand jury. Back to that fabulous PowerPoint they testified under oath, Mewz and Payne. They took screenshots. They didn't have any data. There's no chain of custody, and they put it on a PowerPoint for Bill Thompson to read. This is not evidence in the trial at all. And they kept saying, well, that's the FBI's evidence. We can't give you that. This is a state court. Well, that's not how America works at all, in fact.
Agreed, yeah.
All right, gentlemen, I got to jump off here. Kane, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm sorry to see you go, but thank you so much for being here with us. Mike, you're welcome to stick around if you like.
Thanks for
I'm
joining
hang
us
out
on
for a bit.
the Purge
I
there,
got
man.
Ellie.
Good purging.
Good another 30
Thank
minutes.
you. It was good to be up here with you, JJ. Bye.
We'll look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Stormy. Let's hear it for Stormy, everybody. I should have some play it out music. Huh, Jage?
Well, I'm not surprised you're slacking. You're a little late on hula burgers as well, sir.
I am getting behind on hula burgers. I apologize. I'll throw a couple extra pickles on them for the next one.
I'm slightly more satisfied with these arrangements, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, I'll where is her thing? Oh, there. I'll be on your show coming up here, Jack Reacher, and I'll be honest with you.
Yes, sir.
I haven't
I'd rather
seen
you
the
not.
film.
I'd rather you not.
I don't know if I've seen.
I'd rather you not be honest with me.
Wait
a second. You have not seen Tom Cruise play a tall guy who knows how to fight named Jack Reacher?
I think I have. I know I've seen the Keanu Reeves one, and I just assume it's just a different version of the same film. Am I that far off?
I don't know what that means.
Scientology is what it means.
Yeah, well, you are my Scientology correspondent, local Clearwater resident, and Scientology correspondent. So I would appreciate if you watched the film, but if you didn't, I'm sure you can provide some excellent commentary in regards to those matters.
Well, I figured since I don't know anything about it, I would just start talking and you'd interrupt me halfway in.
Well, I'm going to do that anyway, so.
So it'll work out just fine. Brian's ramblings. Would you like to come up on panel tonight? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I've been trying to get him up here. You wanted to talk about some subjects. I just posted a link for you there, sir. Come on down.
There it is.
So, Mike, what are your current thoughts on these matters with the state of lack of justice, regardless of, the remove Koberger just for a moment, just the total lack of justice in the case all around, right? Like, what are your thoughts on some of that?
It's definitely pretty piss poor, to be quite honest. I mean, there's no answers for anything.
Seems that way, right? I have yet to see a report that comes up Koberger.
Yeah, it's and why? Oh, why? They basically just shut it down.
I'm sorry, say again? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said just the big question is, why? Why did they shut it down? They just, I don't know. They drug that thing on so far, clear to the end.
I mean, it's interesting. I've had that same thought too. Like, what was really the precipitating event? I mean, I can make some guesses. Like I said, with past events with Thompson and whatnot, and prosecutions, but it doesn't really get us a lot closer to understanding what was that precipitating event for us. Because they drug this out for very long, and if the defense was not sincere, they sure made it seem to be sincere. But I do think they were sincere, and I do think there was a lot of behind the scenes pressures we're not privy to, but something happened there, right? That caused it to do that. But one thing I want to say, though, also on that note, we saw the prosecution finally providing more of that discovery the defense had been demanding for years after the signing of the plea agreement.
So we had more to work with than Ann did the whole time, which wasn't much.
That's I had that in question. What did she have to work with, and did she have more to work with? And if she did have more to work with, why would she just smile and grin for a plea agreement?
I don't think she did have anything to work with. So we saw some filings back in the beginning of June. She was still filing for more to the court to force the prosecution to give her the discovery, notably, it seems, of the knife sheath. So, and she publicly stated these things of, show me where the knife sheath is in any of these photographs. So was there ever a knife sheath? I don't think that's even ever been proven.
Yeah. And didn't that come back into the scene after the initial day?
Yeah, no one can agree on the date. So chain of custody is important in any investigation. What should have been done in seen in that initial PCA was the exact time, date, and person who found this piece of evidence, any piece of evidence, then state it was logged into evidence, and then later you would have a chain of custody on the evidence side, evidence locker technicians, in which to substantiate the claims made in the PCA. So we don't see any of that here.
Yeah.
We also now see written statements by law enforcement regarding quote unquote evidence of a crime, blood stains included. And we see video evidence and pictures that indicate that's not the case. Locations in which they claim to have seen things and whatnot. So it goes back to not only were the roommates lying, but the police were in on it too. And I would say that whole thing is staged, and I know folks want to say it was staged by the roommates, and it probably was to a certain extent, I'm sure, if there was a crime that went on in there. But the police went in and staged their own shit, because why would they write reports that do not match up with the video evidence of the stuff they were witnessing at that time? On addition to adding 4 inches potentially to the suspect that the killing saw, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, some things inside of that home, they definitely seem off.
Well, at the very least, they took creative liberties with the surviving roommate's statements. That they've been.
Is that what you call that, dude? Is that what you call creative liberties, inventing things? All right,
that's the official term. Yes, sir. It's also in Spanish. Same way. Say it the same way.
I call it pulling a gooch. I call it pulling a gooch. Because we know it was the gooch that brought us the bushy eyebrows, the frozen shock phase, and this silly Bullock lava business.
Yeah, I think it was Casper West. It's like, you've got endless media reports still continuing on to this very moment. And then you have at least no less than 3 books and close to half a dozen documentaries implicating Kohberger before the plea deal was even reached.
Yeah, precisely, man. He never stood a chance, did he? If you can't get discovery, if all of your rights are being violated, and they were before you were even charged, as we now know, and then you have a media campaign such as this, what is the expected outcome for Kohberger? What could his expected outcome be?
But you can,
and then you toss in the factors of it. Let me interrupt you for a second. And then you toss in the factors of Thompson, putting the pressure and charging his folks, right? Which again, I would assert is what happened here, like in the Shackelford case, accessories after the fact due to a phone call. If that was the case here, then once again, what is the expected outcome? What chance did he stand?
I think that we clearly have seen it before in other cases, and this is the first one that's really brought it to my attention that there's nobody out there that's a media outlet that's giving this the truth on anything.
Even down to the car, how that was fit to whatever,
Well, they even say, the car had 0 evidence in it. That shows you that he did it. I mean, instead of searching for another car, they
think that'd be pretty difficult.
Tear apart this one. Yeah, well, there was no.
Well, I maintain the same argument I have from the beginning. Is this was all a planned event, and we see the car that was being utilized to depict him as suspect vehicle 1 in all the reports is that undercover, quote unquote, undercover vehicle with Moscow PD out there that day.
When you see something, and what are your clear indicators in general? Because we were watching something about AI, how deep fakes and stuff you can identify by the hands, the way things move, the facial features. When you're talking about
I
a
think that Kohberger
psyop,
video from prison was AI.
it is a weird looking video, isn't it? One thing we're going to get to.
Well, not only is it a weird looking video, when the authorities made a statement on it, their last sentence in the statement was "Be careful of fake AI videos" or some nonsense like that.
Wait, what?
When the authorities in Idaho made an official statement in regards to that video to the media, or at least as purported by the media, they said the statement. I'll find it. The statement concluded with saying, "Be careful of fake AI videos." Basically, it's 4 a.m. Kane. Basically, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah, that was, you just reminded me, Jage. Thank you. That story with the, more or less, it's the same thing she's got on the 911 call. It's the same verbiage she's using to tell the story to her friends. It's
Whoa, time out, sir. Time out. What 911 call? Because again, that 911 call is not official. It was leaked, and it does not comport with the actual scene we see on the body camera footage.
Good point.
Nor does it comport with statements made in the reports. That's schizo in, schizo out. But I mean, I obviously tend to interrupt you, but not in a disrespectful manner. But it is important to note that 911 call does not match up.
There's another one, allegedly, another body cam where you see the, or you hear somebody talk about the defibrillator.
Right. And at the end of the 911 call, so there's so many questions about when all of these folks were notified officially by law enforcement there of Kaylee and Madison's death, because no one's asking about that. They're toying around with the notion. Dylan Killen there most specifically wants them to tell her, but they don't. And again, Gunderson comments after that they all know. And I do agree with that statement. So again, it begs the question of how much do some of those folks on the ground, even with Moscow, know what's going on, right? Again, these are compartmentalized efforts. It's a need to know basis. So you don't want, deception goes a long way, and you would much rather have somebody as the deceived party playing their role as if it was sincere versus otherwise. Not, to a certain respect, I think we do see some of that going on there, right? So it begs the question of what is this 911 call in the first place? Because we hear them say over the radio that it's not a passed out person, it's not an unconscious person. We have homicides, and then we don't see that though in the body camera footage. So again, what are these circumstances that are being presented to us? Where did that 911 call come from? Where is the official release of the 911 call now?
Yeah, you're saying it's never been vetted by law enforcement. It was just leaked. Is that
It
correct?
was released by Whitman 911, pretending like, oh shit, we're not part of the gag order, which they were.
Yeah, they've let out a hell of a lot of things. That's a very good point. Where is the 911 call? I mean,
Yeah,
you're
the
letting
official
out,
release, right? Because we see a timestamp ending at 11:59:49, I believe it is, on their official 911 stamp. Which again, these are official records, So these things matter. When we look at the body camera footage, it's not the same time, and we also don't see the same events playing out.
All right, so here is the McDonald's cup right here. The first time we see it, and then later on we see it in one of the crime scene photos, and it's stomped on, which is, I think, a great icon for this case. Just that little. And somebody in the chat said McDonald's had product placement on that, which I thought was hilarious. But here is something we noticed on Not Kane Vs. The Purge the other day when Hunter Johnson is giving his grand murder tour to the cops here, and Miss Potts or somebody kept saying, why does he have his hands up on his head the whole time, and he dumps the knife on the foosball table there. But something we noticed, while we're on the topic of AI, I wanted to bring it up to everyone here, is an anomaly in, I would call it more than digitization, because I've worked with tapes and, all kinds of video for quite a while, and I've never seen a artifact quite like this one, and it was very surprising here. I'm going to fast forward to it. Sorry, it's taking me a minute. JJ, tell us about your sidebar.
Well, here at the Purge, I appreciate all fellow Purgers joining us. Mike, I appreciate the join the panel here, and any other fellow Purgers want to join us, obviously come on down. But these topics, I like to reiterate here, my message to the Purge here, and Kane specifically, more notably Kane more than anyone else, is that we shouldn't get lost in these details of these. I'm just joking with you, sir. We shouldn't get lost in these details of this magic show, because again, there are some core fundamental aspects of this case we still know nothing about. In fact, they just gave us a whole new variable with this Snyder fella with his body camera there, and another person on the scene first. We see Idaho State Police filing reports saying that Payne and Blaker are there hours before they assert they're there, and at least Blaker's notarized, signed, and sworn affidavit. Payne forgot to sign. He signed his under declaration, but he didn't get it sworn or notarized. Typical. But nonetheless, we see, again, more and more aspects of this timeline and chronology of events proven to be liars by the folks that we call authorities up there in Muppet Land of Idaho.
Great takeaways today, Jage. You've been doing your homework, man. I did not know. Now, when was that call that you're talking about where they said it's not an unconscious person? Did that happen after the first responder arrived? Or what? I've not heard that.
We heard that call over the initial 911 release was about 5 months ago now, and after we hear him in the house, right? And again, the transcript of which we don't, again, doesn't match up already to that. So each time we get new releases, it doesn't provide more answers; it provides more questions.
Yeah, everything in this case, which is my question for you, was what are your key indicators when you hear of a story of what, if it could be a psyop, that would stand out as my number one, is that whenever there's an answer, there's 16 more questions. And that's by design, right?
Yeah, dude, and like I've been watching some more of these interviews. That jackass who's in charge of the PD now, who sits on, he's now also on that drug rehab center board.
The Skittles
I'm
rehab?
telling you, dude, that drug rehab center is owned and operated by Moscow PD, and it's the weirdest fucking thing.
That is weird. Well,
weirdest
they
far-fetched
do have
thing. And the Skittles board. I'm sorry, sir, the Skittles.
Correct. Okay, so this is the first weird thing that I see in the grand haunted mansion walkthrough with Hunter Johnson. What is he picking up off the ground? I understand that he's kneeling because he's crushed by the loss of his friends. But what is he picking up? It's like he's trying to wipe away evidence right there. Just my opinion.
He's right.
Is he crushed by the loss of his friends? The first statement Bethany Funk makes is, "Can I go home for Thanksgiving?"
Right. And then when they ask her to come back to help convict the person or not convict the person.
Good luck. I signed up for the Hitler's Friends and Family program. Go fuck yourself, Idaho.
She
That's
literally lawyers up. Yeah. And so here, I think this is it coming up here. I don't know if they cut out the part I'm talking about here. Hang with me for 1 second.
That's what I'm saying. These girls didn't know the cops were going to cover for them, right? But obviously the cops, there was elements of the law enforcement that were cued into that in advance.
Yeah, it's almost like no matter what they say, they're all on the same page. And
well, ultimately, it wouldn't matter. They just keep rolling. They roll in the closers like the gooch to seal it all up in Murder, She Wrote style.
Where is that part of the video? I'll go find him. Where's the part with Hunter? They literally took it out, bro.
What were you looking for him doing?
You talking about the part where he slips the knife on the table?
Yes. It's gone.
Because wasn't he ahead of him? He was in the house, and then he told him he had to leave, right?
And that's when he slips the knife on there, right. But when you come back into
when
this
initially
screen,
went up-
I didn't see it when he went back through there. If you roll back there, Kane. Go ahead, Mike.
So that was before they put the caution tape up.
Correct, sir.
It was before the caution tape. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, there's your first example of it.
Is the knife right there though when they come back inside though?
Oh, good question.
The knife
You know what I mean?
is
When you
there
went
right
to the-
now.
Is it okay?
But that's
I
not
can't
the
see it 'cause
anomaly.
you're not at that scene, but I'll take your word for it.
These are not the droids you're looking for. Wait till you see.
These are definitely not the droids you're looking for.
All right, it starts right here. And I'll zoom it up real big. That's what she said. And take a look over here. I'm trying to write a song, Mike, called "That's What She Said," and all the funny ones from like The Office and stuff. All right. So
Yeah.
look at this now. Okay, usually when you see a digital artifact, because there's a lot of motion. Thank you, Brian's Ramblings, and congratulations inside your house for the membership. I appreciate it. If you look, let me just click it real quick. Now it's gone. There it is. If you see this, usually a digital artifact is going to be pixelated.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can't ever fix the stuff around it when you insert the image. I do a lot of Muppet work here, sir. I know what you're talking about.
You are a Muppet expert, my friend. That's hilarious. Okay, so if you notice on Hunter's shorts, and not that I was checking out his shorts or anything.
Yeah, right.
But it starts. This is just the beginning of it. You could see it in that frame a minute ago, and you'll see it. Really, let me move my big fat head here. Hold on a second. Okay. You see this odd thing going on where he's got. Did I just hear Jenn come in? Jenn, is that you? She said she'd be about 15 minutes. Okay, she did join us. No, just Mike and.
I'm going to take a brief sidebar, but I'll be tuning in to listen to.
Well, hang with me 1 second. Are you? I don't know if you've got the picture on your high resolution monitor. there yet.
I'm watching, sir. Is this the Purge?
But look
We
at
purging?
the outline over here, like it's got an aura. Like his shorts have an aura. And also, they're a little bit off kilter with the legs. They don't
Oh yeah,
line
big time
up.
off kilter. What are you talking about? A little off kilter, dude. That's Tom fuckery right there.
Like I said, I've seen a lot of artifacts. What you usually see is pixelization. You'll see cubes or that type of thing. With this, and it's not just here, it's not just this frame. This continues on throughout when he's there holding his hands up, you notice like he's under arrest, or under distress.
Well,
I could also see
no, dude. What is going on here, dude? That doesn't make any sense. It's not a normal video effect of any regard.
It's not something I've ever seen before. And the thing is, the video does seem very real to me, but then I noticed this thing, and I'm like, what in the F is going on? They're I mean, look, it doesn't, hold on.
Well, when you say the video seems very real, this Law and Crime release has already been edited and pieced together by Law and Crime at minimum.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me bring.
And I would assert, perhaps, like the Delphi case, NASA and Disney are behind some of these video alterations.
Dude, I mean, I'm like, NASA wouldn't be dumb enough to leave a mistake like this to me.
We have a direct NASA connection to this house, sir.
And that is
Lucifer Morningstar, who did the paperwork notarization and no one notarized Brett Payne's affidavit, but they notarized the transactions for the real estate transactions of this home in the aftermath. Lucifer Morningstar, no relations to Lucy Morningstar, works for a woman who, first of all, Lucifer works for Washington State University. Secondly, on the real estate side, he works for a woman who works for University of Idaho as a doctoral assistant or PhD, some
Right.
regard. Her father was one of the chief engineers of NASA. He's a celebrated man through NASA and the National Science Foundation. And he was a former director of DARPA.
Ooh, look at the feet, bro. That's another thing the little documentary I watched on Not Kane B's The Purge the other day said hands and feet because they have a regular shape to them. That AI has a problem. Look at where his shoe is. It's like a clown shoe. I don't know. Does he have them off all of a sudden? And look how like twisted they are. So it's not just the shorts. If you look at this, now you see this little outline over here on Hunter, okay? And then look over here.
That all looks manipulated because look at the blurred image by the footstool there.
By the footstool. Hold on, let me point out the police. Oh, darn it.
I'm probably behind you a little bit. That's what I'm watching on YouTube, right?
That's okay. I'm trying to freeze it as much as possible. Now look at the police guy over here. He's got that same sort of outline thing happening on his uniform. You see that, Mike?
Yeah. Those lines are funky as shit. You don't see lines like that on anything else here.
In any video I've seen. And
you could even see like
I mean,
like
I've spent a lot of time editing
like that.
videos. I've never seen anything like this. Look at his legs. They're completely disjointed from his body. His entire bottom torso is off. And then you have, at the same time, you have this line. It's almost like they had some kind of cut and paste thing going on there. I don't know why you would do it. It doesn't even seem like it's an incriminating moment. But look at his legs. They're like completely stretched out. So it's not just one thing with the line that I'm noticing is what I'm saying. And then there's it shows up later in the video also. Or earlier. Anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. You guys want to see?
I hadn't gotten this far deep, but what you're pointing out to me, this does not look right.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Where did you go, JJ? I lost you.
Dude, I agree. I've done a lot of video and picture editing and whatnot as well for years. This is I'm in year 9 of Operation GCD. This is a long-standing operation here, sir. And I've done a lot of video, photographs, a lot of photoshops, a lot of muppetry, a lot of muppetizations. But what I'm saying here is I've never come across where you're seeing that ghostly outline. What that seems to me is that seems to indicate where they're putting in a image or something from a different video, and they can't keep it up with the same speed as the background. That's my take on that.
Oh, like a double exposure.
Well, let's not be exposing anything here, sir. But as far as those statements on that AI of the video from the prison, so News Nation quoting the prison says, "We are aware of the video circulating online and are investigating the matter. While we cannot yet confirm the veracity, you can't confirm the veracity of your own assholes up there, of the videos, if verified, they are a clear violation of Idaho Department of Corrections policy, and the parties responsible will be muppetized immediately, up to and including termination, not terminization, that's muppetization. We caution that some videos may be fake or AI enhanced." Why the fuck would the Department of Corrections allegedly make that statement?
Wow, they literally said they may be AI enhanced, and they're not talking about from the general public. They're talking about from us.
Yes, sir.
Is this the Purge? Holy
this is the Purge.
Snap a diddle do bang. Miss Potts is asking me to go back, all the way back. Let's see here. There's a
I'm going to take a quick sidebar. I'll be right back with you.
Fair enough. All right, you and me got to hold it down, Mr. Mike. You're still with us?
No prob.
Right on, brother. Appreciate you being here.
I got like 15 minutes and I got a jet.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're welcome to stay as long as you like. We're going. You can come and go as you please. We're not going to detain you. All right, I'm trying to get to that, Miss Potts.
Don't believe him, Mike. Don't believe him, sir. He clones me all the time. He tries to detain me sometimes.
Do me a
It's not
favor,
man of his word.
Jage.
Just watch out.
Do me a favor, Jage, and take your picture down if you don't mind, so I can make Mike bigger. And if case Jenn comes in, I'm
I feel like
working
you're
on this.
censoring me, and I don't appreciate that.
Do it now. Do it. Okay, right there. Right there. I think I know what she's referring to. As a matter of fact, that's why I want to pull it up. Let's see. I guess Jenn had something going on, but it sounded like she'd worked it out. And she'll be here. I'm sure she has a lot to share with us as usual. Did a great panel with her last week. So let's see. Okay. Wow, you got really big there, Mike.
Really?
Okay. It's big. And when it pans back, all right, what are you? Let me get rid of Stormy here. Back wall above the couch. All right, let's zoom in on that creature. Is that a shadow or is that a stain? You probably can't see it yet, Mike. Maybe that's condensation. I don't know. It does seem like it's a shadow or burned into the wall, like it's burned. Is that where the flashbang went off? I mean, let me get closer on. See how close we do. See close. What are your thoughts on that, Miss Potts? Is it just something you noticed? Is this the one you're talking about? Right here? Is this what you're referring to? I mean, maybe the vent is, and that's dust, and then maybe from the AC condensation dripping down. Yeah, that, and it's very localized, isn't it? It's like it's got a bad case of syphilis or gonorrhea or something. I think it's actually an air intake. You're right. That's a good point. I think that's an air intake. I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of charger cables for sure. Maybe it's a hangman's noose. It's like creepy though. Or maybe it's just an anomaly, another anomaly from the double exposure theory. Hey, Lotina, welcome in. It doesn't have the. That's weird though. Good eye. Yeah, now let's slip around this little one and see what else we see. Ears are another problem AI has trouble with. And look at this weird ears. I'll hold it here for a minute on this the back of this officer's head. He looks like Frankencop. I'd say. Your letters is another thing they have trouble with. That just looks blurry to me. I am really focused in now. So here you still have the aura, but the legs seem to have connected back to the sweatshirt. Oh, look at that. Looks like somebody took a bite out of crime right here. Hold on. Look at it stays too. Look at that wildness. This is like somebody chomped. If I move it, I can't point to it. But look at that. What happened to his freaking leg? It's like he's got a peg leg Pete going on. And okay, where's the shoes now? There are no shoes. And look at his foot. That do you typically stand with your toes at a 90-degree angle? I'm just saying. That is... Dude, honestly, where's the shoes? I can understand, like I said before, if he kicked them off, but now they're gone. So, and he hasn't been moving around. Let's play it a little bit longer. Like, zip around someone. Is that the missing cups? We're missing, allegedly, 2 solo cups from that foosball table. Oh. What's that shadow for? There is definitely a lot to process at this crime scene. Apparently, we got to do their work for them. Here's another thing, Mike. Thank you, Miss Potts. Where's the stain now? Stain's gone. There's somewhat of a semblance of it here, but in this frame, there is no stain on that wall or shadow or whatever it was. Huh. Holy shipwreck. I mean, it looked like an embedded... Good call, Miss Potts. Again, well, she's been on fire the last couple times I've seen her show. Here's another aura. Aura around the top now. Oh, somebody was pointing out these. Like, it looks like there was at one point, I think Lana froze it, and it was like all brown. Right there. On this couch. Like, when you see a bleached couch. But now I don't see that. Yeah, you see it on the seat part, but in the one frame I'm referring to, it was there. You can see it. Look, it looks like now the backrest and the seat are bleached. So all this stuff, 1 second, it's there, just like his legs. Look, they're not even attached to the top part of his legs anymore. And that aura, he's missing an entire part of his hip. Maybe he bought these shorts at JCPenney half off. I don't know. size. They only have like size 16 shoes, which I never would fit in. That is so weird. And Marshalls or TJ Maxx, they're all basically the same. Oh, another thing I noticed also as well, not that I was checking out his shorts, like I said, but when you see him from afar, what is in his pocket? Like, I'll give you, that's probably his cell phone right there. But let me see if I can find the frame where it's actually almost clear that you can see his shorts. Yeah. It was like I hate to say it, but a bulge in his pocket. And I think that's one of the most interesting things about this body cam is that he feels like he has to give the live action Fruit Ninja tour of the residence instead of just letting the cops do their job. Wow. Look at how separated it is in there. That does not seem like a digital artifact to me. They would, but then again, maybe that shows up all the time in body cams. I can't say. I cannot find the frame. That is weird. You know, it's fun. Another funny thing I'm noticing is the creases in his pants don't seem to move when he starts to kind of step forward and walk. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I have to make this smaller now. I don't know how he can stand without feet or shoes. Shoes keep disappearing. Our favorite Muppet. Time we're at 7:30. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Right there. When he steps forward, it's like everything else is kind of in line with his movement. Like, look at this. Bro. Okay. Now I have to zoom in again. Doggone it. Let me make this bigger. Check that out, dude. I don't know if it's because they blurred out. I can't use my mouse right now. I can use the thing. It looks like that this is a completely separate object than what's going on down here. And what I'm saying as far as his movement goes, I don't know if we'll see. These like creases right here in his pants, they seem to just stay in place, as opposed to like his sweatshirt is wavering. Let me move my stupid head. With his movement, right? I was like, what's that red thing? It's what are your thoughts? And for the life of me, I can't even imagine why they would do something like that here, but that is just beyond weird. What's all over his gloves? You'll see it in a second, I'm sure. Look at the officer's gloves here. There's like some kind of like soot all over his hand. Just notice that. Yeah. Right? He's got the outline following around there. Weird scenes inside the gold mine today. Well, there's Real Tea with Kirsty Marie. Welcome in, my dear. Good to see you. All right. Well, I usually like to close the purge before JJ gets back. I'm going to try to get out there and make a couple bucks tonight. So I'm going to rage quit. But I want to thank everybody for being in here. Mike, thank you for coming. And also Stormy for being with us today. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to hear from Jenn. Where is you? There you are. Okay. So, yeah, any closing thoughts, Mike?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll do it again sometime. I certainly enjoyed having you on. I appreciate it.
Sounds like a deal.
Right on, right on. All right, everybody, you have a great evening. I'll let the chat run here while I get ready to go to work. All right, folks, if you're still here, we're back with JJ Vance from Operation GCD. He had a little bit to add to my observations there, Meanie Weenie. And Ariana, thank you. Oh, you just got, well, we'll do this. You know what, JJ? We'll do this one for Ariana. Mike had to get going pretty soon anyway, so he's probably relieved to get off the hook there, I guess. Thank Mike for
Well, I mean, if you got to go do some stuff, we can reconvene on these matters, I suppose, on the next purge. I
got another good solid 15 minutes before I even have to really get ready. So
well, I'm gonna rage quit on you then. How about that? No, I'm kidding.
No, you can't. It's not allowed. No rage quitting. No, what were your thoughts?
So, I mean, what are we dealing with here then? Is this whole body camera footage just one amalgamation of tomfoolery that they've pieced together to release to the Law and Crime Network to release to the public, and no one else is going to get an independent copy of the footage? How dare you? Are you cloning me?
I mean, where did the shoes go? I can understand that it's blurry, the feet look weird. Where did the shoes go? They forgot to put the shoes back in, and this tiny little channel on YouTube found it and called them out on it. Because I don't see any other explanation for shit disappearing.
I don't either, sir. I do not either.
And how many times did they really look at this video with him putting the knife on the table, and somehow that's not ever brought up or an issue or no questions in that regard?
Well, that's a fine point as well, sir. We see in the footage that it's not Gunderson, it's that fat guy that comes in later. I can't think of his name right now. The one that sits at the door for a while. Martin, maybe? I'm sure Lucy will correct me. We see him in the footage. He sees the knife. He takes notice of the knife. We can see it on the table at that point. We never see it being dropped on the table, though. So it does just appear on the table.
Yeah, it just appeared. Very well could have not been him that put it there, I guess, right?
That's right. No, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's often attributed to him because he's the only other party there, and it's only reasonable explanation unless you see these weird video artifacts from folks tampering with this matters. And again, Long Crime releases a piece together edited footage already, so we're already seeing edited footage on its face, and now we're seeing elements of the footage being tampered with even before Long Crime would get it.
Bro, that's a good point, because in the olden days, the way they cut film it's called the splice, and they would literally cut the frame where they wanted it to end, and then cut out the part they don't want, and splice it together with the where they wanted it to start again. Now, the thing is there are ways to do effects where you overlap. That's how they did some of the early effects, is they would film somebody just standing there, and like say, if you're familiar with one of the first movies ever made, Trip to the Moon or Voyage to the Moon, they would film somebody just standing there, and they would overlap the other piece of film with the moon, so it looks like they're standing on the moon. And so I wonder if maybe there was some kind of fuck up or something where they literally, what would you call it, like a double exposure, but where they're overlapped the film somehow in the
Yeah,
digital
dude.
world.
I, long before I've been doing Operation GCD stuff and making Muppets, I've long been a fan of film. I know what you're talking about. And here's the deal, bud. When you showed me that artifact there with that little outline that around Hunter Johnson's legs and the shifting of his legs and pants, that's all artifacts of overlaying an image and not having it in the same exact speed as the image you're putting it on.
Say that again. Like the frame rate is off because
there you go. The frame rate, because you're gonna put that on a moving background. You're never gonna be able to get it to match up, 100%. And when you zoom in and pause it, you're gonna have that outline as a result.
I'll tell you a story. This is not an ex-girlfriend story. This is when I was doing wedding videos.
Well, I mean, that's a good start for an ex-girlfriend story, right?
Well, I did meet a lot of very horny bridesmaids. Let's just leave it at that.
There you go, sir. There you go.
I don't know what gets into women at weddings. Anyway, they're dressed up, they're having fun, they're drunk. Anyway, so there's this church in downtown Tarpon Springs. I don't know if you ever made it there when you lived there. But
I'm familiar with the area of town, but no, I haven't done much time there.
Well, it's a Greek community. Hopefully you haven't done any time anywhere.
Well,
to use one of your euphemisms. What's up there,
Sadly,
Willie?
I did some time in the Cascade County Jail, sir, back in the year 2001, and I came face to face with pure evil.
Well, this may be right along those lines. This is Greek. It's funny that Willie popped in right when I'm telling the story. Tarpon Springs is a Greek community. There is a church there where you may have heard of it. It had a weeping icon of the Virgin Mary. It was a framed picture of her, and it would continue to cry. And so it gained worldwide notoriety. It's called St. Nicholas Church. Of course, everything in Greek is St. Nicholas or St. Christopher, whatever. Anyway, besides the point, I was filming a wedding there, and the Greek weddings, Greek Orthodox, is a 3-hour, 2-hour ceremony where it's not as heavy as the Roman Orthodox weddings, which are just crazy that long. But it's very Catholic. They have icons of body parts on a plaque, like a picture of your foot, and that they hang that for you to heal, all kinds of stuff. But they have these crazy stained glass. Okay, and so I'm getting ready for the wedding. We're waiting for the bride to arrive, whatever, and I'm doing B-roll. I'm doing the outside of the church, exteriors, and I'm inside, and I pick one of the stained glass window, and I do a zoom out on the stained glass window. Well, when I'm editing it, I didn't notice it when I was filming it. When I'm editing the video on VHS, SVHS, you see it's a guy holding a sword, I believe, and it moves from one frame to the next. And I sat there and I looked at it for an hour, from one frame to the next. And before I told my boss what I was seeing, I just sat there and I must be seeing shit. This is crazy. Now, St. Nicholas Church not only has the weeping icon, but it's a very old brick church that's purported to be haunted also as well. And so I'm like, man, I found a ghost. I was, if I'd had, one of these YouTube shows, I would have sent it in. Unfortunately, I never saved that piece of video, but that's one example.
If you had a Ghostbusters pack, dude, you could have caught it too. You thought about that.
Right. And, oh, look at my head. Look around are you trying
to clone me, sir?
Look at my
what
headphones. Look at my headphones.
Is this the Purge?
Look at my headphones. Stare into the headphones. What do you see? Holy shit.
So,
I think we just answered our own question, JJ. Do you see the aura around my headphones? Right now I'm using a background remover.
Yep.
And there is an aura, just like we see.
Headphones.
Just like
I thought you were just permeating that aura just as your person, but I do see it now.
Okay, so we do see that on the cop and also on Hunter Johnson as well.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We see that outline there. That is the artifact of you're not up to speed with the background. The frame rates are off slightly.
Willie Translucent was in the Not Kane B show the other day, and she wanted to start a GoFundMe to get me a hair transplant. So we're working on that one. I thought of doing a show where we had you guys duke it out on live. That would be a blast. But I don't know if I could convince anyone to do that one. Anyway, yeah, there's your artifact.
Who? What? Who's duking out what now?
The creator Translucent and another creator that's in the chat now have, beef or whatever. I said we can work it out here on our forum. Like Jerry Springer. Anyway.
Yup. Springer.
Some people know what I'm talking. Man, it is stormy outside. This is going to be a good night. I think people like to get delivery when it's raining. I'll just have to keep my head up. That artifact around my head is really freaking me out now.
Well, here's another question for you. Why are we learning now that the Latah County Sheriff's Office had anything to do with this investigation?
We heard that they didn't have anything to do with it.
That's right. Yet, as these reports come out, we find out that's not the case, right? For example, it is the report that they're interviewing Chief Deputy Best from the Latah County Sheriff's Office in regards to the fellow that the neighbor who allegedly donned his uncle's old ATF hat and jacket and walked into an active crime scene.
Right.
When they were removing the bodies. And that was Best that did the interview. Why is Best getting involved in doing the interview with that first person in the first place? And then why are the investigators in this case then interviewing Best and not the original party? And you see what I'm saying? Like,
isn't that a serious crime to impersonate a law enforcement officer, especially a federal agent?
Yes, sir. It is, unless you're in Muppet World.
Well, here we go. There's zero investigation in Muppet World for any kind of crime like this.
Yeah,
they're not interested.
But it also, on top and on above those points, excellent point, sir. It demonstrates the lack of continuity of any evidence or the crime scene in this case, and it was all demonstrably, over and over again, the whole crime scene was compromised.
Well, that's a big compromise, but I think
that's the only hole you got to poke. In order for them not to have that man on the crime scene log, but then have evidence of him in the crime scene, there's no more questions that need to be asked in regards to that crime scene log.
Was there a crime scene log?
They mentioned having a crime scene log in some of these written reports. I've yet to see the actual crime scene log.
In your experience at a crime scene, isn't that something that's very important and posted by the entrance?
It is just as important as every other aspect in the initial response to the scene to maintain the scene in its state in which you found it.
I think you'd have to add a couple college students' names to that roster to have it be accurate.
But even after they set up the tape, right? They don't. Even after they set up the tape and the cordon of the scene, they don't have control of the scene. We don't even know who the scene commander was.
Right. I've said that before, that there was too many chiefs and not enough Indians, because everybody wants to walk through like their big daddy.
Well, in my experiences, sir, in a mass casualty event as trained by the federal government in these protocols and procedures, the on-scene commander is typically the fire chief, until which point in time a senior officer from the police department can show up.
Right, and I think when Fry does arrive, that the first call he made there on the body cam was to Cooper Scott Green.
That's probably true. And when Blaker arrives, he doesn't even go into the fucking scene. He never went in the house.
Because he already knew everything.
Yeah, and he's the ranking captain, so he's number 2, right? He's number 2, right? And he doesn't even go in the scene.
And you have all these officers that we'd never heard of before all traipsing through it without any.
We got a brand new one, right? And I had to go back and look at some reports. They do mention Snyder being there on scene, but we'd never heard Snyder's name reported, right? It was always Nunez, Smith, and that fat fella. I can't think of his name right now.
I've been meaning to ask you, as far as the footage of Molly's car being there for 20, 25 minutes, what you thought of that.
I don't think that's Molly. I've yet to see any evidence there was a DoorDash delivery whatsoever. They've played nothing but games with that from moment one.
There's also they called it a backpack, but it's actually like a strap-on cooler that they show in the backyard there, which I said is something a DoorDash driver would use. Obviously, maybe the college students were carrying stuff around in it and it forgot. But that's one thing. Another thing that I noticed is...
Well, here's another thing I noticed there in the living room is we see a Doc Martin boot suddenly appear in some of the footage, and which makes no sense whatsoever other than to substantiate the claims that homegirl heard her roommate running down because she wore Doc Martens.
All of a sudden, I've never seen a picture of her in Doc Martens.
Yeah, but we see that one lone Doc Martin boot in the middle of the living room at one point that wasn't there upon initial response.
Are you serious? Really? Hold on, because I still have the footage pulled up here. We're still purging.
I don't think it's underneath that beer pong table, but it is later.
I'm tempted to hang out a minute and wait to see if Jenn joins us here. I would like to hear from her. If you
I got
wanna
an
hang
hour,
out.
sir. You got me until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Times.
What is it? Monday, 9 p.m. Excellent. All right, that's good.
No, I'm not doing a show tonight. I got other matters to tend to.
You're welcome to have real life. I understand. Okay, so let's look at this Doc Martin business. Now that's further on, I believe, in the body cam footage. Okay. The question about Hunter Chapin's vehicle. Okay, here's the trash also as well. And some people are like, where is the pizza box? This famous pizza box, the Domino's pizza box. And I don't know if that's product placement as well or not, but you don't see it in this.
Well, who else do you think is sponsoring this event, sir?
I would say probably Sidebar is in there, and you
Longden Court, undernourished, grab a Sidebar.
Let's take a look. So let me back it up just a hot second here. And I gotta move your big fat head, sorry. How dare you, sir? Okay. There's a point where you... Okay. Yeah. Okay. So right here, I believe this is the pizza box that it's buried in a bag. So I think the investigation was they tore apart the trash to see if they found a knife, didn't do any kind of forensic investigation on it at all.
Well, sir, they left that trash sitting there for days. I don't think that trash was ever collected.
Well, it from what pictures we saw previously for the last 2.5 years, right here on top of this trash can, there was a Domino's pizza box. Now we appear to see like a Chinese takeout.
Is that a Domino's pizza box on the ground behind the cane?
This is not the exact, maybe, behind the thing. I don't know. That looks like some type of high school diploma or something. Let's take a little for let me hide JJ a little bit in my head. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the Purge, please hit that subscribe button. don't be afraid to click on that gas pump emoji and get our show up there in the algorithm. All right, so yeah, this looks like the high school diploma to me. Chinese box. I'm suggesting that the pizza box is somewhere around right here at this point, but we're used to seeing it on top of the garbage. So let me see. I did see a glimpse of what I thought was the domino. Oh, look at that. Wait a second. Jenn's gonna get excited. All right, look at this. Hold on. There's a little better. Right there. Look at that. Interesting. This stump is one thing that really has tripped up Jenn for a long time. I know you've heard her talk about it, Jage. As far as it being a Hogan's Heroes tunnel entrance or something, you know what I mean? But look at the visual on it right there. It does look like it has a entrance lid to it or whatever, a manhole
So
cover.
you're saying at the backyard of this. So this property was split off. So that house you see right there was part of the same property. That's why this is a King Road address. So what you're saying is this would be the access from that backyard through this elevated portion where we see the slab of concrete.
I've never seen a picture of a tree there. They have cut down a lot of trees over the years. Now that you point out about the crime scene tape, at one point in the investigation, they extended the crime scene out to the road for whatever reason. So they sloppily put the crime scene tape right there in front of the driveway, and then at some point they moved it around again, which is very bizarre. It's just like changing the timeline to their.
No, man, that's another good point to make, because what we see is for effect, because in the backyard they never put up the crime scene tape like that.
Which seems a likely place for a killer to come and go from the house. I would.
The only crime scene tape we see in the back is when you walk out the door, right there on the right-hand side we're looking at right now. They ran about 40 feet on that slab of concrete, and that was it on that one side.
Yeah.
We also see in the police body camera footage that blood that I asserted was not blood at all and was later staged in some regard, and I still make that statement. Seeping out of the home, that wasn't in the body camera footage, sir.
Is that in this video that you're referring to?
That blood that was allegedly seeping out of Zaina's room.
Sure.
That's not in the body camera footage.
Of this body camera footage, you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Oh gosh, I got to see that. Let's take a look. Good call. Let's fast
It might have been the pictures, but it was either the pictures or the body.
Oh, there it
camera
is.
footage.
There,
I definitely
it's
logged
right
in my
there.
brain hole.
Wow. Okay, the pole. Okay, there it is. Is this the wall that? Yeah. Isn't that the wall that it was supposedly seeping out of? Right. Oh, you're in the way, JJ. Get out of the way. Darn it. Let me see what it. Oh my god. This is a hoax, bro. Everything is a fucking hoax. I think we got a couple characters to add to the Witness Protection Larry family, and as far as the action figure collection goes. Wow. Good catch, JJ. All right, man. No snap. That was totally fake. Now, are you 100% that it's not on the other edge of this wall around the corner? Wow. So, blood seeping out of the house. Yeah, pull that up, bro. Let me hide this real quick. Man, we come up across the weird stuff here on the Purge. I don't know why, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind pulling that up, Jage.
Yes, sir. Oh, right here. Stand by, please. So, according to the media photograph, the timestamp of this photograph was on 11/14. So, the next day allegedly, right? So after we're seeing this body camera footage on the 13th, right? So it's the next day, and it was taken at 7:50.
We got a JJ down. We have a JJ down. JJ down. We'll get JJ back. I'm sure he's probably having some kind of crazy weather as I am here. Well, actually, we can take a look at the current weather conditions for Tampa Bay here, if you guys will indulge me. And let's look at the radar, guys. Let's check it out. I don't think they'll copyright. Look at that.
How about that? What's that do for
hold
you?
on. We went to the weather guy here real quick. Hang on. I'm checking my local conditions. Here, yeah, this is what we've had all weekend. Just pouring in from the Gulf, heavy showers, and it looks like I'm right in it right now. Dang. Here you go. One more moment. Sorry. Yep, right over me. Right now, heavy stuff. Sorry. Snap into a sidebar, folks. Back to the thing. Okay. Oh, I'm blocking you. Okay, yeah, now they can see it. And let me switch back and forth to it. My computer is ready to crash. And so I'm going to hide JJ real quick. Boom. That is the same. And you know what's odd? Again, with the foundation of the house, there is much more exposed wall than there is. And there is more exposed wall in this picture than there is in the body cam.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It could just be the angle, though, right? Could be the angle,
it's
right?
not. It's absolutely not. I disagree, sir.
Oh, I see with the gravel. You're right with that gravel, with that little hole you see on the right-hand side. You're
We
right.
have
They moved that
seen
gravel
all
away.
kinds of abnormalities here on the Purge with this foundation.
Maybe they were digging for the basement.
I think they parachuted into the basement. Look at the difference.
Definitely moved the gravel there.
I mean, real? Not
Are you
real.
ready for another one, sir?
Yes, sir.
So this picture, allegedly, these pictures were taken by the photographer, my apologies, from the Argonaut University newspaper, allegedly at 1:43 that afternoon. Now, again, by all appearances, to me, I assert this seems to be a picture of Dylan Mortensen walking away from the scene with Gunderson and that other fellow, that Lurch fellow. I can't remember his name. I think
Lurch.
Lucy Morningstar can correct me. Now, this has often been claimed as somebody else, but either way, neither girl is wearing these items that is seen in this picture. So, did they let him go back in the crime scene, Dylan, and change her clothes?
Well, she was wearing a Phoenix Suns shirt, and then she had a blanket on. Maybe she put on a sweatshirt.
She had a white blanket. She had black pants, or I'm sorry, disregard green pants. Bethany had black pants.
Oh wow!
She didn't have her hair in the braids there. But that is Gunderson, and Gunderson is taller than 5'10". And Lurch back there, he's about 6'4", from what I take.
Lurch here, and she is definitely wearing like light blue or white pants. And if we look at the body cam, which I will pull up since we have it conveniently ready, this is Purge.
We go back in the crime scene.
Pretty much take it all: fridges and dishwashers and dressers,
Dude.
floors, couches, mattresses.
And just grab a couple things of evidence on the way. Why not? Why not, sweetheart? You're gonna give the, she is wearing green pants, sir. Holy snap-a-diddle-doo. So that is a completely, and so correct. Pretty much at 4 a.m. That's okay. There she is. Let's continue this on. And I've said it on Not Kane B, but Chelsea Whitaker, the lovely Chelsea Whitaker, who is a paralegal and very much into this stuff, says that each one of these people, witnesses, surviving roommates, whatever the case may be, should have been separated and their stories gathered individually. Instead, I mean, that crime scene 101. Right. Well, you actually have one. This back here. Oh, it's actually two. Okay.
We don't see that here, dude. No one's trying to rush into the scene. No one gives a damn what's going on here.
There's no sense of urgency, sir. Zero. And they turn the paramedics away like they're riffraff on the streets. That in itself is pretty wild.
Are you clowning me right now? Why am I so big on your screen? What is this? What's going on here?
I'm just a icon on your shirt now. I'm just a tiny crush your head. I crush your head.
Again, at best, they let her go back in the scene and change her clothes. But I think when you're looking at those anomalies with Hunter Johnson, we have to extrapolate that concept across the board and see what else is going on.
Well, that's the thing, is you're not going to change. I can understand the put the sweatshirt on and maybe get some shoes, but now you've changed your pants. So wow. Well, you heard it here first, folks. The weirdest stuff you can find usually pops up here with JJ Vance and Kane B. Too fast, but please. Too fast. I don't know if you caught it earlier, but Stormy almost had your Bucky doll. Unfortunately, it was what was it, JJ? Howdy Doody. It was Howdy Doody of Schindler's List. Thank you for the memberships, very much.
She is translucent, no pun
Correct.
intended.
Yes, she is translucent. Now we know who translucent is. That's funny. And the extended arms waving around. In I think it was Outkast did a cleanup of the audio, and I believe you hear them say, or you hear Maddie say, "Get off of me," when he tries to grab her arm. So it seems like in that little stroll through the primrose path of those people, there's more tension than there is familiarity. In their interview, you remember we were reading the document, Jack Showalter claims to not have ever known Kaylee prior to going to the Corner Club that night. He only knew Maddie from class. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know. That's tomfoolery, right?
It's bullshit, because there's
He's
literally
seeing videos
pictures
inside the home, right?
There's pictures of him inside the house holding
Right.
Terry, the doll.
Right. Murphy.
No, Terry is the doll that they always take. Make
Terry the
people
doll. I
take
think
pictures.
you said Terry the doll.
I didn't
My
mean to
bad.
bring up Robert the doll, bro. I'm sorry.
Dude, I'm out of here. If you're talking Robert the doll and you're going to start cloning me, dude, I'm out of here.
Matt Rife is coming for you.
That's not a smart man. You do not mess with cursed dolls, folks.
He did Ghost Adventure stuff previously. I still don't know why, when you have a successful comedy career, that you go into Lucy's basement so deeply with this thing when it pops up. I mean, I am sure that whoever was in control of that property is happy to get rid of it. That thing is full of curse.
I don't disagree, sir. You don't mess with cursed dolls. Nothing good comes
We've
from
learned. We've learned that, man. This is
it.
just.
I've seen it.
What else can we conjecture, JJ, from these? We're finding a lot here today. I mean, I kind of came into it with a couple things as far as the outlines, and then you brought up the NASA engineered "What did you tell Adam?" thing. Man, let me get rid of JJ real quick. Eliminate
some high weirdness. Some high weirdness. Because again, I think the biggest takeaway we were mentioned earlier when I thought was very salient characteristics, sir, of this conversation we're having tonight, and I thank you for having me here on the Purge as always, and fellow Purgers for joining us, is that when we get more and more information, we see documents, pictures, and videos, we should have more answers and not more questions, and we get more questions, and you said that's a good indicator of a psychological operation, and I don't disagree.
Bro, you're not going to like this. Are you sitting down, sir?
Well, I am.
I found another one. This is not good.
Well, I am. Well, then you are wrong. I will like that, in fact.
And it has to do with Dylan, once again. And you might have been right. Look at her hand, bro.
Dude, look at them feet. Dude, what's going on with that
What's her
feet?
hand? Was she born with a nub? If you're looking at her right hand right now?
I'm looking at her feet. I might be behind schedule, but that left foot ain't
Well, wait
looking
till
right.
you get to the hand, bro. AI inserted her hand into the garbage bag. Holy crap.
Yup.
Holy crap, dude. Do you see it?
Yup.
I hope you folks at home are on the same wavelength.
I mean,
here.
her hand should not blend in with the background like that, right? I mean,
It looks like she's got a nub, bro.
Right.
Okay, here, and now I'm not done. I'm not done. Look at the pants. You have the artifact again, right? Right here. And then I'm not done. I'm still not done. Check out. Yeah, you pointed out the feet are stretched like a piece of Play-Doh.
Let's focus on the hand for a second. You know how cameras work, dude. It's not going to pick up the background and mix it with the foreground like that.
That's not a thing. That takes a little bit of work in Photoshop to do that. Is this the Purge?
Well, it was probably done intentionally so that way they don't have to mess with the hands, right? Because look how funky that foot is, dude.
Who would notice that except for the Purge? But look at the other foot here. You have, it looks like she's got 18 toes. And then this foot over here is 17 feet long. It's like she's got, oh, look. Oh, my God.
Oh, I think we found out who's wearing the size 16 shoe, dude. It was Dylan.
Wait for it. There's the exact artifact we see on Hunter Johnson, the police officer. I'll beat dog. Look.
Because she's got no toes, dude. Where's her toes? Dude, you can see the crap on the road in detail, but you can't see the features of her feet.
And look at this line goes down here, ends, and continues over here.
Yeah, we see dirt and cracks, dude. We can't see the features of her feet.
Also, she has a pant leg between her pant leg, right here.
Well, who doesn't have a pant leg between their pant legs? So
everybody's got a pant leg in Idaho.
Shit. You need the third pant leg. She does. We all do.
Hey, when you got a tool like this, you got to build a shed over it. Wild. I've seen another one. Look at it. Goes into the blankie. Her little foot blankie right here. Oh, goodness. This is just popping up everywhere now. This is, where's witness protection, Larry? Look how wide her pants are right here also. Like, are they square? Is she wearing square one-dimensional pants also as well?
Yep. It's Dylan Square Pants.
Dylan Square Pants.
Feels like, dude, feels like some Muppet World fucking cartoon shit here. So let's go to Bethany while we're at it. Let's see what they did to Bethany here.
Wow, dude. I'll be honest with you.
That's a 2D picture in a 3D frame. That's a flat leg.
Dude, how are they? Hold on. Oh my gosh. Heather has presented a picture of Bucky the doll. Oh, he's a beaver. I didn't realize Bucky was a beaver. All right, let's get past. I will say that. Well, I'm not going to get weird. But Emily does have some tight ass shorts on. Like, they are hugging those hips about as close as you could.
We all knew you were going to say that.
I knew you were waiting for it. I thought I'd put it out there because you guys knew I was going there anyway. Heather, send it to my email so I can share it with everybody without having to do 50 things and take time away from the show. She won't. Hold on, I'll send it to myself. I have to do everything around here. Forward to my email. Can't do that. Download it first. Are you still with me, JJ?
Is this the Purge?
I'm
just trying to process some of the shit, dude. No pun intended, because this is some wild shit, dude.
I'm flipping out. I'm flipping the heck out right now.
I mean, it's one thing to see those obviously staged effects of what we're pointing out, but it's a whole different environment when we're looking at a manufactured video from the onset.
See, I'm the only one who sends me emails anymore. Hold on, I gotta insert the image. You know what I mean? There it is. So yeah, if anybody can find this doll, there is a huge reward. I'm sure of it. Let me hide this so Trish doesn't have a heart attack here. Hold on.
What's going on? A doll?
Take it easy, Jage. This one's a pet toy.
I'm out of here, dude.
That
I'm out of here,
here it is, Bucky the doll. Oh, I made it too big. There's Bucky. This is Too Fast for Fleas Bucky doll, and you can see the dog chewed the arms off it, and I assume it was getting moldy and oldie, and so he had to throw it away, and now the dog is brokenhearted. So if you recognize this doll, please call authorities, and we can try to replace Bucky the Beaver doll. Anyway, all right, sidebar. All right, so let's get to Miss Bethany, and we'll take a quick look at Emily's shorts first.
Of course. Zoom in on it while you're at it there, sir. Go ahead.
Should I? Shall I? Shan't I? I'm not familiar with the trend of 6 sizes too short on the hip huggers. There they are.
Dude,
I'm sure somebody else knows.
Dirt and cracks on the fucking concrete, and we can't see her bone structure in her feet. This is preposterous, sir.
Well, I don't see a glove either, Mr. McDonald. Where is that? Yeah, you can literally. And another thing I noticed earlier, because I'm such a perceptive detective, is that there are no shoes hanging from the telephone wire. You know, we got liar, liar, pants on fire hanging from a telephone wire. But there was in some of the pictures, I believe, when they were investigating, or no, when Xana was doing her video, that there was a pair of shoes hanging from this wire. I just noticed that they're gone now.
Sir, there are no telephone wires in Moscow.
And
there are no
that's
shoes
weird.
in Moscow.
That is not weird.
No, I have seen those pictures. You are correct. There were some shoes hanging up there.
Let's look at Emily's butt a little bit more. They have a good close-up of that as she walks by. Is that appropriate? It's probably not appropriate.
I would suspect not.
Then again,
who am I to judge?
You're not Mike Judge, by any means.
I'm not anyone's judge.
Judge Dredd. What was his tagline, Judge Dredd? Schindler's List?
So let's pause right there. So, like, That scene, now as I'm watching them folks in the background, is this the same scene as we're watching of the folks walking up? Are they in the same environment, or are these folks been put in the same environment? Video.
It's
Photoshop
very
style.
ghostly, isn't it? With the blankets now, all of a sudden, it becomes a very ghostly scene.
Again, we just see no one else from around the neighborhood coming out and saying anything, nothing like that. We see like 2 people walk up. We see the hunters. One of them just gets dropped off. We see Jack DeCoeur walk up. We see no other parties inquiring on what the hell's going on here. We see one car drive through saying he's going to look for a friend, comes back through moments later, no friend.
Well, another thing is you do see a party walk up on the scene, 3 people, and then they turn and haul ass back around in the other direction. For whatever reason.
Are those the ones that come up the stairs?
Yes,
correct. Come up the stairs over there? Right. So that's what I'm saying. When we're watching these folks over there, Bethany and gang stand over there, as these firefighters walk up, there doesn't seem to be a lot of reaction to that situation. Are we watching 2 different elements put into this film that we're watching and pretending to be in the same 3D space?
I'm starting to wonder if they were filmed on 2 different days. He does have.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Also. None of these people were standing in front of the house at the same time, kind of deal, right? Or something like you can do. There's a lot of things you can do to piece a lot of these things together. They don't have to be there at all.
Have you ever seen? Does my thumb is rounded at the end?
We don't see any of their faces. How much? You know what I mean? Like that could be anybody.
It could be somebody right out of Central Casting.
Could be witness protection Larry for all we know.
He does a pretty good Dylan impersonation. All right, let's get to Bethany. Bethany and killing. Wow. This is weird. I did not expect this. I guess we could go with some audio at this point.
Well, you should expect it, sir.
There's a male that here, and he doesn't actually live. He's in the room with Anna, I believe.
A lot of people have noticed that she has very pale hands here. I don't see that she has any kind of color change in her arm, but maybe. I assume people in Idaho are typically pale with their snowy weather all the time, I guess. But yeah, the story is very rehearsed. When you read about it in the news media, they say, "Oh, the poor surviving victim crying," and they never mention that this it sounds like they're doing a Neil Simon play.
Right. And there's a lot of audio that is redacted even throughout this video. And why do we see Jack DeCoeur there right in this moment you were just showing us? Why do we see him just willfully walking to the back of the police car? Why did he do that? Who told him he could do that, et cetera, et cetera?
It's like the end of The Burbs when Tom Hanks says, "I'm hurt, take me to the hospital," and he puts himself in the ambulance.
Right, dude, because we just saw him wander into the back of that police car, dude, for seemingly what reasons?
Is that right? He put himself there?
Yeah, go back, dude. Look, right where you're just circling her hand, we see him walking into the back of the police car, seemingly by himself.
There's a male that lives here, and he doesn't actually live here. He's in the room with Anna, I believe. He's in there right now. But he doesn't live here, but he's here a lot. And then
I'm tripping, dude. I did not notice that. Dude.
Yeah. In what world do you just want? I mean, I see the cop opens the door, but like does the cop tell him he needs to get in there?
That's what I wonder, if he directed him to get in there. And we're gonna hold you. You're the boyfriend, get in the car. And then he's whining that everybody else knows everything and he doesn't.
Right, and he's in there with a radio, dude. You don't think this has been called over the radio?
What's a radio? Like that movie with
Cuba Gooding. So I mean, again, so did that guy? Who is that cop? That's not Gunderson? Is that Nunez? Did he call him over there and ask him to get in that car, or is that Snyder? Because that's the car of this alleged body camera guy, Snyder, who's talking right now and gets into that car later. We don't know these dynamics still today, but Did that guy tell Jack Ducour he need to be questioned in the car? Because then Snyder comes over there and tells him he's good to go.
What's on his sweatshirt that they had to redact that?
Okay. Yeah, good question.
Why do they have to redact the police officer's face? Let's take a quick look at a book.
XANA. Okay.
Header. Click away.
Okay.
You know, you've been in environments where, you know, maybe you were at some scene popped up, maybe shit got weird, and the cops come and you're not guilty of anything, but do you want to go sit in the back of a police car?
I'd never want to be in the back of a police car. One time I got pulled over.
Even when I was a patrolman, I didn't want to get in the back of my own damn police car, dude.
Yeah, you get stuck back there. I got pulled over one time in the middle of August, and the police officer put me in the back of the car with no AC, 95 degrees for an hour, while he went through my phone and searched my car, and told me to shut the F up. Put me in the Hitler Friends and Family Club. Foot looks weird here. Missing corner of the pant leg. All I can say. Just certain areas. The arm looks a little extended. Here's something not right. A little skinny there. I don't know. Maybe I'm going off the.
She also has no shoes on, huh?
Right.
Can we see her bone structure or feet?
Oh, who doesn't have shoes?
Is that Bethany?
This is Dylan still. I haven't found Bethany yet. I'm still watching.
I see that now.
I'm still watching Jack get. I'm trying to figure out if the cop telling him to get in the back of the car or if he went there willing. Because I cannot.
All the time. There's a male that lives here, and he doesn't actually live here. He's in the Louisiana, I believe.
And what the fuck is on his sweatshirt, dude?
All the time. There's a male that lives here, and he doesn't actually live here. He's in the Louisiana, I believe. He's in there right now. But he doesn't.
Well, from what I understand, he drove to Coeur d'Alene to be with the Gonzalez's, and he was still wearing shorts. I don't know if they were still those shorts, but if he's complaining about being cold between this time and that time, you would have put on some sweats or a pants. Yeah, that's not a good look. Socks with the perks. No, I don't think it's.
Everybody's here a lot.
He opens the door for him, looks right at the other cop.
And then there's
does he close
Maddie,
it?
Mogan, and Keely up top. I don't know where they're at though. Maddie. Mogan. Maddie, Mogan.
Oh, shit. Jage, hold on, wait. They couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, I had you. They couldn't hear you that whole time. I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had you.
Is this the Purge?
I was trying to hide your Robert the Doll thing. It's so big. And I accidentally turned your audio up. But no, you're right.
Are you me right now, sir?
It was only for like 30 seconds. But anyway, so yeah, they do let him in that door. So that seems...
It seems like they told him he needs to go sit in the back of that car, dude, because you're suspect. And then this body camera guy, which we now know to be Snyder, not Nunez, comes over there because that's his car. And he gets in there to go drive back to start the search warrant paperwork.
Well, if you were just letting somebody go into the car to stay warm, you wouldn't necessarily close the door on him.
Dude, not only that, dude, again, why does he, I'm just saying, I'm not familiar with the circumstance that you willfully go sit in the back of a police car, especially in a matter such as this.
You better have some cuffs on me. I'm going to resist.
So, and again, let's look at the matter. So this guy gets in his vehicle here in a moment, allegedly goes to get a search warrant stuff started, right? That's what we see in the body camera discussions and whatnot, and then he gets in the car. Well, then who the hell goes back to that house to take pictures? They don't have a search warrant. Procedure would be, am I muted again? Are you muting me?
No, I'm listening. I'm processing what you said.
Procedure would be they would lock down the scene, right? You'd post a guy at the door for the crime scene log, and then you go get the search warrants, and then you go back inside because otherwise you're violating some shit. You can't go do these things without the fucking proper authorizations. You can clear the house due to the crime scene being an immediate response and your visual assessment of dead bodies, but then you cannot go searching through the whole place like that until you get the search warrant. They come out and talk about the search warrant, but then allegedly, we're told, they go inside and take a bunch of fucking iPhone 3 photographs to disseminate later.
Now, where'd Emily go? She's gone. Oh, another thing that people have been talking about, Jage, is the fact that Dylan wasn't on the property when the police arrived, allegedly, with the spotty cam.
That's what I'm. No one did. Yeah, there's Bethany. That's what I'm saying. She's over there, just past that pole right there. That's what I'm saying. It does not comport with the details we hear in the actual 911 call leakage, right? The leaked 911 call, and then the timestamps don't comport either.
Oh, so her voice is on the 911 call.
It's allegedly her phone call,
body
dude, and she's the one ending it too.
is not on the property. Excellent, excellent. And also that gold SUV. You see an SUV, gold SUV, pulling up right here that does the 3-point turn. And who was it that was I was watching it with? Couldn't find it. I think this is the timestamp for it.
Well, if you go to 1237, once we get there, I think you'll see Jack DeCour out of the back of that vehicle by that point, because that's when Snyder's out of there. And then we also see Murphy the dog being walked by. This is during the Bethany interview, and neither Murphy nor Jack seem to have any indication of each other.
Right, like it's like they're strutting this thing. Why isn't he like, hey, that's my dog, bring him back here? No, we're gonna take him.
Well, again,
to a kill shelter.
Unpack it in a manner these people were put into a 3D environment for us to watch in this video, and they weren't in the same place at the same time. You see what I'm saying?
I am definitely starting to unpack it. I think we skipped over the SUV.
Because again, it's really weird when you see the dog up, again, he's over there. He's not in any trouble. He's already been told that by the Snyder fellow. So why can't he see his dog? And then why does the dog go to the pound and then disappear from the pound? And there's a mystery around the dog, his whereabouts, times, locations, etc.
Well, Miss Potts noticed.
First of all, there are no dogs in Moscow.
Back to your field comments. Let me see if I can. I'm here for the butts. I just want butts. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to Bethany now. Let's see here.
Okay. Is it okay if you walk over to my car with me?
What is on Jack DeCour's sweatshirt that had to be redacted? Because everybody else seems to be wearing Patriots, New York, Phoenix Suns.
We can talk over there.
Yeah, and they're not redacted, are they?
Okay.
Let's take a good look at. That's odd. Did you see that jump? Watch this jump in frameage on. Okay, so here it looks like she's wearing some kind of cosmonaut helmet with the blurred. What the fuck am I seeing right now? This is weird. This is really weird. Oh my gosh. I don't like this. I'm not having a. I feel like I'm being haunted by Robert the Doll right now.
I'm not convinced we're not.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just do too much artwork, but where's this person's head? Right? It looks like they got a giant rabbit head or something. I just noticed in the background. Oh, that
does seem like a large dome piece, dude.
That is like fucking Dylan. Holy shit. Okay, well, I just noticed that. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to make it smaller again. Where is Emily's butt?
Here you are with the butts again.
I want butts. All right, let's take a look at this.
I was talking about Bethany's dome piece, dude. Look at Bethany's dome piece.
Well, that's what I'm about to get to, because we start off with the cosmonaut helmet here, right? And that's how the blur looks, like a cosmonaut. And then there's a jump in frame, and it gets like It looks like it's completely distorted. Watch.
I'll tell you the
Boom.
same thing.
You see that? It's like the Kennedy assassination shit.
I'm just looking at it versus the size of her shoulders and torso,
You'll
dude.
see
That
it in a
is a big
second.
dome
Watch.
piece.
Are you watching that? You see it?
I'm watching, sir. This is the Purge.
I'll tell you
Boom. There it is.
Okay.
What the fuck happened to
Oh,
her
you're
head?
right, dude. You're right, dude.
Boom.
That's a weird jump.
It's like a
That is a
Kennedy
weird
assassination. This is the Bruder film. This
back into the left.
Okay.
Back into the left.
Look at that. Boom. What in the actual feck? Because
That may be an artifact of something else where they had to seam together some of this footage, right?
I mean, likely it could be maybe she turned her head. That would be what they would argue.
Yeah, but why would that affect the blurring out of it?
I'm gonna say that is wild as hell. Shit just be letting itself right out of the closet.
Probably going to be talking to a lot
But
of
when
people.
when it does that little jump, that's a normal size looking head. This head looks huge.
Yeah, again, that is weird, wild.
Big dome
stuff.
piece. It's a big dome piece. I'm gonna look up a picture of it. I don't recall her having such a large dome piece. That's like Sputnik.
Look at the eye sockets. She looks like a like Planet of the Apes.
No, it's Sputnik, dude. It's Moscow, dude. She's got a satellite up there, satellite
It's
dish for a dome
Moscow.
piece.
That's not weird. Oh, there it is again. What
Yeah,
is
dude.
that?
Her she's got a tiny frame, and her head is not that big, dude.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna slow it down. We get just as good a product as the 7-minute app, guys.
Yeah, we can guarantee it. And guaranteed, we'll give you the extra minute free.
6-minute apps. Let's see what happens here. On Bethany, my head about to explode like Kennedy. Why, oh, why? Yeah, she looks.
Yeah, that's a big dome piece, dude.
I'm
I'm looking
telling
at more
you, bro,
pictures.
that
Her frame is so small, and she's
her
got a tiny head on that tiny
It's
frame.
because
dude.
her
This
head
ain't-
disappears. It literally disappears. Here she's Planet of the Apes, and then, yeah, she got shot by Oswald right there. It might have been Tippett.
Back and to the left.
Who was the Abraham Lincoln, Mary Savant, or maybe that's who? She's a reincarnation.
Mary Surratt. Yeah,
Surratt,
Mary, you know your history, sir. That is correct. Mary Surratt.
That was actually the first case, I think, of a grand
Of
jury.
herpes.
Am I correct?
Oh, my bad.
Am I? Anyway, I'm not going to try to out history you. Let's see how many.
Didn't she run a
different-
whorehouse? Wasn't she running a whorehouse?
Well, that the public turned against her. Then they were with her, and then they killed her, and there were books written. Who knows what to believe? Where is Emily's butt? I have to say, I'm attracted. I'm fond of that butt. Hunter's a lucky guy. He doesn't deserve it. Although I think she is the man of the relationship. I will say that.
I find her
from the
both
interview.
ugly in appearance and personality, but please continue.
I'm not talking about her appearance. I'm talking about her butt in these shorts. I'm going to put her in the next reel. Just her butt. And you cared about that butt, and whose butt it was, and they were farted.
No, the only thing this one cares about was going home for Thanksgiving.
I mean, I don't even have the audio playing. I'm just interested in where this video. I guess I could play the audio.
It'll be,
Oh, I got it on slow speed. Oops.
They've redacted a lot of the audio. There's a couple of sessions here with her too, if I recall correctly.
Is that right? This is the Purge. Hold on. What am I doing? I think it looks more like she walked in on it that morning. If she was even there, last night. Whole vibe screams.
Dude,
panicked
that's what I'm saying.
call.
Folks be trying to pick apart pieces of the story, but the story's all bullshit.
I'm talking about Emily, not Bethany. This is
I'm
Bethany,
talking about all
right?
of it, dude. I'm talking about all of it.
I'm trying to defend myself against Lucy Morningstar and her attacks from the basement. She's firing hula burgers at me, bro.
Well, I mean, your odds are you're never going to win that battle. She is the princess of the
And I might have it coming. Who knows?
Well, you probably have it coming.
I lost 110 pounds.
That's a
Couldn't tell it all
pleasant
because of my excess skin.
That's what I
So
wanted
Bella
to see.
changed
Look
that.
at this.
Look, dude, I'm going to side with the princess of the underworld. I'm already cursed by Robert the Doll. I don't need any more witchery.
Were you here the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just gonna point it out. This looks weird. It looks like she has a dog bone under it. It just looks odd. I'm just pointing.
I want to see what they're doing with her feet because she's got sandals or shoes on or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I guess we'd have to watch her walk over
the same
again.
story.
Let's do that. Where's Emily's butt?
Oh, just no, go forward because I want to see where the dog goes out at 12:37. So just go a little bit faster. We'll pause it if we need to.
Oh, there's the car going by, first of all. And what we conjectured was that there is somebody in the passenger seat and the back seat, but they blurred it out. Oh, there's a dog in the back seat. Boom. Right here. It looks like a golden retriever. This looks...
No, that's the car that when they went through, he said he was going to go pick up a friend, but I don't see anyone in that car, dude.
Hold on, let me show you what I see. Okay, 'cause I haven't had my high resolution monitor here at home. Let me see.
Oh, there is some blurry action going on, isn't there?
Are you feeling me on the blurred out? Why are you
I'm
blurring
feeling you on that.
out,
I
bro?
see that now. I see that now. Yes, sir. Okay.
Odd scenes inside the gold mine. Maybe I don't see a dog in the back.
I don't see a dog, but I see the blurry action.
I'm looking at back window, and let's get to... Oh, yeah. Redacted. Hi, my name is Redacted blank blank, and I am here to drive by the... That's blurred out, bro. Look at this. You can see the
Oh, it's
Jag.
definitely blurred out, dude. It's definitely blurred out, dude.
Interesting. That's
The front seat
interesting.
for sure, dude. Look at the front seat.
For some reason, yeah, no, that's what I'm talking
Boom,
about.
blurred.
I'm
Blurred,
circling the
dude,
blur.
blurred.
That's blackout almost, I would say. There's a whole business going on here that extends over into the divider of the window. But I some reason I thought I saw a dog or something. Like it looked like there was a dog sitting upright right here, and it had little eyes.
I thought there was no one in the car, but you make some good points with all this blur stuff, dude. That's definitely blurred out.
He had a doobie dog, Scooby Doo. Let me see. So that's the problem that I'm moving. And now, yeah, it looks like the blur has extended to the back seat at this point. And what is this? Is this a reflection of something that you've ever seen before? What the fuck's going on right here, JJ? It looks like
Well, that's what I was confused about, dude. That's what I was confused about. You can see details through the windows, but you can't see inside the car.
It looks like somebody put an AK-47 against this damn thing.
Well, wait. What's that? What's that reflection of right there?
That's what I'm saying. Is this a Purge?
That doesn't make any sense, dude.
I
That
think
doesn't
they're
make any
cloning you.
sense, dude.
And I'm pretty sure
I can see the power pole right there to the left, but what the fuck is that, dude?
it's a missile silo right there in the middle of Moscow. And wow, dude, it looks like literally, and then it's gone. All right, let's rewind it. One more look through at that. Do a quick like. We'll do a slowdown on it.
It does kind of look like the reflection of a cop car, Twiz, but there's no cop car on that side of the road allegedly at that point to reflect upon.
Twiz has had some good business lately too. He's been saying some pretty smart stuff.
He's had some good show business.
Hold on, bro. You're not ready. Look at this.
I'm always ready, sir.
The
That's incorrect.
Freaking front windshield is blacked out, Chief.
Yup.
Oh my, busted. They can redact whatever they want.
Oh, there's no front license plate on that car. They did it. They got eyebrows.
Is it an Elantra? There is no.
Doesn't matter.
License plate. They blurred out what type of vehicle it is.
Yeah, dude.
I ain't lying, dude. I ain't lying. I am not lying.
Yeah, and he talks to that driver on the way in, dude, on the body camera footage.
No, there was another vehicle that went through, but they completely ignored them, and there was one or two vehicles that went through that were completely unnoticed. For some reason...
That right there, sir, is a Honda Accord. I'd say circa, we'll call it 2009.
Oh, I absolutely agree. It's a Honda, but why did they blur out the logo, the company logo?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder why anything. Why is anything? Yep, they blurred out the windshield. There's no bug deflector on it.
Fucking weird, man. Fucking weird.
Feel me? Let's see here. Do it one time. So wait, is that a Volkswagen? I'm sorry.
Nah, dude, that's a Honda Accord all day, dude. That's a Honda Accord all day.
It is Honda. It looks like a Volkswagen. People's wagon. That is blurred out.
I mean, it could be an Acura TL, but it's either one.
What is that?
But it's a 4-door, so if it's a 4-door, I don't think Acura TL made a 4-door.
Wow, everything
You
sounds...
can see the Honda right there for a brief moment. You can see the H.
Yeah, we're in agreement on that one. Let me see here. I think I just got a command from Lucy. Where's my phone?
Yeah, Lucy says there's no Hondas in Moscow, apparently, so.
All right, where are we at here so far?
Well, I know he's talking to Bethany for at least the next 5 to 6 minutes, because when they bring that dog out, I think it's when they're wrapping up with Bethany, and that's 12:37.
It could be an Acura. I think Honda, though, more than likely. It could be an Acura. They just keep us getting... What was that audio? Creeped me right the fuck out. I'm going to jail. It's weird that the cop car keeps flashing blurred, unblurred. What are they up to with this? But now this person walking up over here.
Well, where did the medical responders come from, dude? Why would they park way down there in the first place? And where did the cordon they later set up down at the end of this road about an hour after this? Where is that? Where are the people coming in to see what's going on? There is no cordon at the end of the road yet. You can just see that with the cars going through.
Is that it? There it is. I think this is the SUV doing the 3-point turn. Right here.
Let's get a phone number to reach out.
Old SUV, I believe.
And then is your driver's license through what state?
I can never find that.
What state is your driver's license?
I did see it, though. I haven't seen her feet yet.
Do you have a room that's
They
assigned to you
managed to keep her feet out of this shot.
When you go in?
No one else lets me down.
Were you here last night? Okay. Is it okay if you...
So what's that person doing that's walking up them stairs? You think they're talking to the Jack D and was that Hunter? Who's that? Not Hunter. What's the fellow in the pink
Is it okay
sweatshirt?
if you walk over to my car with me and we can talk over?
Schindler. Oscar Schindler.
There?
Nah, it's Homegirl's boyfriend. So they seem to be interacting with each other right there, right? They're all talking.
Yeah, no, they can fully share their tales and stories without an interview. You're saying that's Dylan's boyfriend? No.
No, the other girl there. Lucy says it's Hunter and Hunter. Okay, Lucy says Hunter and Hunter.
Oh, it is. The other Hunter's gotten out of the car.
Yeah.
Or Hunter Chapin.
Well, no, that's
Hunter Chapin.
Hunter Chapin is then the pink shirt, and then Hunter Johnson, and then the cooler's still in the back of the car, but he'll get out, I think, before the dog comes out. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I was mistaken Dakura for Hunter Johnson when the dog comes out. But either way, the dog knows people and doesn't react in any regard to the people he knows.
It's not the dog not reacting. It's people just letting them take the dog away. This whole the dog thing.
Well, that
the
too, dude.
threat
But
of
you
the
can't control the
dog.
dog. Being like, oh, that's my people's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. You would think it would run to them and just happily prances down the street. But the threat of the dog throughout this entire story. Oh, look at their legs.
Yeah,
Michelle
scroll through.
says,
I
look
think
at
we
their
get
legs.
I think we get a better look at some of Bethany's stuff when she's going through her phone because she's looking at some times.
She's got to refer to everything on her phone. If it's not on their phone, they don't know anything about it. Like,
Which, if I was in standard protocols and procedures, you don't let a suspect or witness do that. You take their statement and then you can verify that stuff later.
tell me what you remember, put your phone away, or I'll take it. I mean, we've seen a million body cams, right?
For sure. For sure.
Talking to a lot of people, retelling the same story. So,
Wait, what did he say to her? Hold on, let me close caption this bitch.
I wasn't listening.
Oh, you'll be saying
I got the YouTube muted. I'm listening now.
you guys are probably going to be talking to
you'd probably be talking to a lot of people,
retelling the same story.
Retelling the same story. Well, interesting verbiage there, pal. That's the first thing she said. Am I allowed to be home soon? And,
no,
are
she
my
says,
friends...
am I allowed to go home for Thanksgiving? Dude, they're going on Thanksgiving break that week. She says, am I allowed to go home for Thanksgiving?
Oh, am I allowed to go home?
And she never comes back to Idaho.
Never. She will never step foot in Idaho.
We're going to be talking to a lot of people.
Dude, despite having a subpoena and being ordered in which to provide witness statements under which they allegedly agreed that the defense investigator would go there, and I don't think we ever got any conclusion on what the disposition of that conversation and witness statements were because we do have reports the defense investigator did go out there to get that statement, and then that's exactly when we saw the secret grand jury proceedings in which to indict Kohberger right after that. But she ain't never want to come back to dude. Dylan's parting with the Pi Fi's in October of 2023 in photographs on the Pi Fi Instagram. Yet, despite I don't think she's ever been an official student or Pi Fi, nonetheless, she has got no problem coming back to Moscow, and Bethany wanting to come back to the state.
And it's the same, along the same line of answers. Oh, will I be arrested? Can I leave? Very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Her statements immediately exhibit guilt. Immediately. The first thing out of her mouth exhibits guilt. Am I allowed to go home for Thanksgiving still?
Agreed.
Not have you seen Kaylee and Maddie?
Yeah, no
my two
concern.
roommates we can't find.
It's a common thread between the two of them, Dylan and that everything is about them.
If I was taking this statement, I would have scribbled on my notes there, this girl is fucking guilty as soon as she said that.
I love having you on here, JD. How did I get so close?
Thank you for having me on the Purge, sir, and fellow Purgers, thank you for joining us here for your fast food news, your type 2 diabetes talk, and the occasional Idaho4 discussions.
Let's get through this. I want to see her damn feet, and I want some butt.
I can't hold you forever. Okay. So you're cross that bridge when it gets there, and the detectives will work with you guys to get hold of you however we best can. Okay. So you were here last night. What time frame were you here through now? Were you here the whole time? Okay. What time did you get last night? Oh, yeah, I'll turn on my lights here. I'll be right back.
So I wonder who they told when they come up the stairs. They gave a message to the walk back down the stairs. I wonder who that was because the cops didn't seem to care.
Did they walk back down? Yeah, they're gone.
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA and
That's what I mean by you can blame the lying liar folk here, but you know when the cops aren't separating them and they let folks come up and talk to them and leave the scene. I mean, it's not. This is obviously larger machinations.
Yeah, he just does a quick little message to something, and it gets both their attention. Look, it appears he's definitely leaning in, giving some news, some type of information right here. The guy.
I mean, look, dude. I mean, they're talking about something over there, right?
Right, and then he just
he's
clears the
standing
scene.
to the base of the stairs. He's at the base of the stairs talking to them for a minute.
Nobody's allowed to leave.
You don't put him. You don't put Kane in the corner.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody.
That's such a great.
He was like running, bro. Check it out.
That's what I'm saying, dude. But go back about 30 seconds. He's exchanging some words with him at the base of the stairs before he goes to the top of the stairs.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And again, why is he working the scene? Why is not every officer in the department on scene yet? Why is this dude working it himself? Where are the other folks inside? They don't have a search warrant yet. They've already cleared the home. They should not be doing anything else inside of there. Dude. He's working the scene by himself, and meanwhile, he can't control the folks on the scene.
When they pull somebody over here for a traffic ticket, you have 17 vehicles on the scene. Here you have...
Who's the on-scene commander? Who's the on-scene commander? We don't have one.
Yeah.
We do not have one.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, when you get pulled over here, you have like 17 vehicles. Or if there's any kind of serious crime, it's every cop in the county.
Dude, you could fart around here and they'll have 17 vehicles.
Yeah, and so it's like...
Dude, and again, back to the emergency response. So by protocols and procedures, those firefighters would have been the on-scene commander. That whoever's the ranking fire chief there on that call would have been the on-scene commander until relieved of duty by the ranking police department.
So you get rid of that, and you can kind of...
Dude, they told him to get off a scene. Dude, again, no one's controlling the scene. There's no cordon at the end of the street yet. We see those later in a video, and I'll bring up the timestamp on that in a minute. But my point being here is these are not... what we're seeing is a violation of every protocol possible here, and they're even sending away the folks who should be the on-scene commander. While this guy's taking the statements, the on-scene commander makes sure the cordon's getting set up, make sure these folks are staying within the cordon, make sure parties do not walk up inside the cordon and then talk to those parties inside the cordon, which is what we're seeing right here.
The cordon, huh?
Dude, I've run so many real world and exercise incidents, dude. I've searched every outhouse, in-house, farmhouse, and in-house. This is all bullshit is what I'm saying. It's chicken shit.
Forgot the doghouse. Yeah, he leans in. Looks like he handed him something.
I was thinking the same thing. There was an exchange of something there, right?
Wow. That's next level. Let's get past this building shit.
Boom, they conveniently move that clipboard and blur it out there for a moment when it looks like he's exchanging something, right?
Unbelievable. Oh, I fucked up. Tried to turn the audio on, but here he comes up the path. Blurred him out, so he can't even know who he is. Stands there, says something to the guys. That audio was redacted.
Okay. Can you spell that for me?
That's what I'm saying, dude. They redact some strange parts with his conversation with Bethany.
You have a middle name?
It's just the weirdest shit once again, dude.
What's a good phone number to reach you at?
Yeah, he's hollering up from the stairs like he's not allowed to approach the scene, which he probably isn't.
And then is your driver's license through what state? What state is your driver's license through?
He's probably telling them to come down here because they're telling him to come upstairs, right?
Do you have a room that's assigned to you here?
No.
you going?
And they just looked over to the cops. Now he's looking down the stairs and saying, "You're clear, dude. Come on up."
Yeah, he extends his hand out, and
then he looked back over his shoulder for the second time.
They
and then he's
blur
walk up
the
stairs.
shit out of that. Like, that's more than just the clipboard. All of a sudden, you have this giant block of redacted. The entire street is redacted.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you can see his arm extending to Hunter there. He's handing something to him. It wasn't a handshake extension. It was the low pass extension. Right?
It was like an Alaskan
the old,
handshake.
The old quick and slide, if you will.
Okay. There's some people there. He was probably going to be talking about we're telling the same story. We can't hold you forever. Right? So you're cross that bridge when it gets there, and the detective will work with you guys to
We're going full on grub truck on this Bethany car, dude.
Through now.
I don't. To Rochelle's question, I don't think it was Maisie. She gets dropped off.
In the car that pulls up here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And while you do that, I'll turn off my lights here.
So they were obviously waiting over there at the top of the stairs for that transaction. As you can see, they're walking back over towards the scene now.
Now that's done. Rewind that.
Yeah, I'll turn off my lights here. I'll be right back.
And again, this man should not be working this scene, especially with all these witnesses by himself. We have other officers on scene. What the fuck are
There's
they
no
doing?
containment. Yeah, zero containment.
None. None. They're pretending like there is, but again, this should be a court on there. They should have never sent the firefighters away. Those folks, whoever the ranking firefighter was the on-scene commander. Until which point in time, the police chief or a captain from the police department would arrive. I think Tyson Barrett doesn't get there until 1 o'clock, or maybe 1:30 or something like that. And he's now gone from the department, I believe. But he was he was a captain on the department, not the. He wasn't the services division captain. He was the support captain.
Wade Bird, hi Wade Bird, nice to see you by the way. Says that wasn't Kernodle and Jasmine there at some point coming up the stairs. Is that who that was? Remember I said the three people.
I
don't know how much I'm allowed to disclose right now.
I don't recall when they allegedly show up, but they do allegedly show up. Kernodles do, right?
What's going on?
I had no idea who that was.
As soon as we know for sure, we can tell you guys what's going on. We absolutely will.
Oh, I'm not sure it's the Kernodles. I'm just saying at some point in time that there is reports that they do show up on scene. Jeff Kernodle and Jasmine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rochelle. Normally EMS would check the victims, and I'm referring to the surviving roommates, at least to clear them medically, right? I mean, is that
for sure? And if we go back to that scene, I don't see any of them young adults over there, the quote unquote surviving victim fuckers or whatever. I don't see any of them reacting to the medical personnel walking up the street. They don't turn and look or nothing like that.
Like they were never there.
Well, like they weren't there at the same time in the same place, right?